All right. Good evening, everyone. It's your boy Rush of Cinco here, and tonight it's going to be my last stream before I go on vacation. Hold on. Let me send a notification. There we go. And let's go spend our time playing Master Duel. Can't wait. I'm gonna see how I can get as much done before I leave. Yeah, we already played yesterday, and we were just playing some casual, and then going on ranked. So here, let's just get to it. I'm gonna start by playing some casual just to de-rust a bit, and then after that, I'll move on to ranked. Okay, I'm just waiting. Let me see if there are any people in casual. Shouldn't be taking this long. I pretty much like my little mate right here. The totally awesome. As the name implies, it is totally awesome having this mate. I wonder what other mates I'm looking forward to. I was hoping perhaps they would have like Sky Striker Ray in her base form, oh, it's a coincidence right here. Like her base form, then she just switches to any of the four forms, like Kagari, Shizuku, Hayate, and Kaina. Runix, really? I mean, I still have an Oja match. And I have a Max C for draw power. So I didn't like brick. That's the worst thing that could happen to me. It's gonna happen now. Special? Okay. I'm curious if Runix run any type of like hand traps. Or the called by? Or no? Just let it resolve. Do I summon more or nah? I mean, it's a 1-for-1. He's going to pitch. I mean, the best thing I can hope for when I'm playing against Runix is that my opponent just bricks hard. Cyclone? Yeah, that's a smart choice. Cyclone wasn't really going to do much against me. Then again, like, how would he have known? See? It's Runic, Allure. The only lure cards I know is just like Allure of Darkness. I remember back in the day, there was I forgot, it was like in a special box. You would either get 5 booster packs of, I forgot wherever it came from. It was like a 50-50. You'd either get like the Dark Creator or Allure of Darkness. Let's see here. Let's go with Armed Dragon level 3. Got a response. And it's negated. Well, that's fine. I still have an Oja match. Which will allow me to search. So I'll add to my hand Oja blue. And let's go for Armed Dragon Thunder level 5. A normal summon. Yep, I will normal summon my Thunder Armed Dragon level 5. Perfect. And Oja Magic allows me to add back 3 Ojamas for my deck to hand. Okay, just please don't banish any card I need. Shoot. Oh, it's any time. Like, so pretty much each time a quick play spell. So not just my opponent, but me as well. And these draws 2. Hey, I know this card. I saw like Team Samurai use it in his thumbnail. Get 3. And I can use my level 5's ability. I will pitch... Let's pitch a White Dragon Head. So we can get Pile Arm Dragon. And then let's use Pile Arm Dragon's effect. Dump to boost. And with level 3 in the grave, I can draw. And I have a Called By. That's neato. And let's go for main base 2. I'm at this point that he could just play any... I'm pretty sure he drew like a quick play spell. Like a quick play runic, I mean. Ojama Blue's kind of going to be kind of useless. Ah, I should have just got Ojama Red instead. Why did I just get blue? If I have gone red, I could have just summoned all 3 of my Ojamas. And then go for some Link 2 to Link 3 and a Link 4 plays. See what's going to do now. Let me see. Okay, that's whatever. No way. Oh, never mind. It's not Numeron. Unfortunately, he doesn't get to search for another fountain, and also I have to banish Mill from my deck. He's like doesn't have like a cross out. There's no way. I would be pretty surprised if he opened up with a cross out. Okay, I think I might need to go restroom. Yeah, I have to go. So here, let's go put it up here. Bathroom break. And I'm going to play the music in the background for you guys to enjoy. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had like an emergency bathroom break I need to take. My stomach wasn't having it. I guess like the noodle soup I had just did it. Okay, let's fix this. Okay. So now let's continue. Okay, let me see what else is there I missed out. I'm doing second. Oh, God. I got a Discord notification. I see. Let me see here. Well, it's just another runic player. All right, he can do his thing. Let's imperm this. And you are not going to get your effect. Nope, that's not happening. See? Okay, you can just special summon another one. I'm pretty sure Huggin is just once. No, is it not once per turn? And a Cyber Valley. Oh, there goes my black. Okay, my best well, I have a Twin Twister and I have an Oja Magic, so that works out. Okay, runic destruction. Of course. Everything just worked out. And then his Fountain gets its effect. I mean, he could just use Cyber Valley just to banish and draw 2 cards. Let's see. Imagine if like the quick play runic spells just allow you special summon in the main monster zone, not just the extra monster zone. Just another one. So annoying. Now I can just banish it. You can banish Fountain and draw 2 cards. Because he has another one. Or not. Another one. Is it not once? Oh, it's not even. I don't think it's a hard once per turn. He can just keep playing, just keep drawing. Fun. See here? Gain 500 LP for each counter on this card. I mean, what's the point? Okay, let's see what the next song is. Give me a moment. He's gonna do now? No way. Give me Dark Angel. Then I can't use it. Well, that's only if he has 3 or more D hero monsters in his graveyard. Anaconda. Okay. Is it gonna get Fusion Destiny? So 2 delicious, what Destiny Hero Delicious is to get himself a nice Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. That way he gets. Wait, what's he gonna pop? Oh, that makes sense. So both DP and his Anaconda. If I top deck a, what was it? Call by? He's gonna regret it. Is he gonna play another fountain or no? That's 1. That's 2. As long as I can pop his other fountain, I'm good. I mean, he's just gonna protect it. And then he gets his DP out. Hey, Evil Supreme, what's up? How are you? I've been good. I just had dinner. I recently went to the bathroom. My stomach had problems. But in case you're wondering, this is going to be like my last stream before I go on vacation. I should be coming, if you're wondering how long to be gone, I should be coming back on like the 16th, assuming if my flight is not delayed. And we'll see how I feel like the next day, if I feel sick or have like jet lag. How have you been? Did you have a nice New Year's? Because I did. I pretty much went to a relative's place. You know, I had some food. They did some karaoke. And then I went to like my cousin's place for like a New Year's Eve like welcoming party. And it was really fun. Yeah, there's no way I can win this. I'm just gonna scoop here. There's no point. Yeah, but that's pretty much for New Year's. And my New Year's resolution is just like to do better. I don't know. I can't make any promises. I guess like after reaching like affiliate and then 100 followers, which I'm pretty happy about, considering the fact that I've only streamed for about 5 months. I think after affiliate is just partner's the next step. But even with partner, it's good. It's like a whole other ball game. I have to get at least 75 people watching me like concurrently. That's gonna be tough. I'd say that me reaching a like partner would be like the true test. Like it's a sign that I made it. Especially like how like what the current state of Twitch is. Because I started relatively late. It's like one of those, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda moments. Oh, Twitch came out back in, like, I should have hopped on Twitch, like, 10 years ago. But even if I hopped on Twitch, like, and just to try to do streaming 10 years ago, I was way less, I was way more shy and kind of immature back then. And also, my parents wouldn't have never have allowed me to do it. But now, ever since I had like my full time like job, I usually work with a team, and I hang out a lot more with like friends and go out more. I slowly began to come out of my comfort zone because most of the time I usually am just like introvert. I don't go out as much, and whenever someone just like put a camera in my face, I would just like have this awkward silence. I would just be relatively uncomfortable. But it's gotten so much better, and I would say that I have like friends and family members who like support me doing it, which I really appreciate. And also, I'm actually happy that Master Duel came out this year, because what perfect game to start streaming it is be like a game that I have expertise on, because I grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh pretty much like most of my entire life. So I know like the anime references. I know like the cards by like relatively by heart, at least most of them, because I've been out of the metagame for about a couple of years. I pretty much stopped after like when Pendulums came out for TCG, and like I know, at least I have an idea like what's going to be for, at least with Master Duel, like the meta will be. Like I keep up with the updates. I've been playing Master Duel since like it came out back in like January, but it wasn't only until like around July I started deciding to like, okay, I'm gonna stream. So there's that. And, like, speaking of like new updates with Master Duel, I don't know if you guys have seen the new ban list already. Because for the most part, they've already decided that after the Duelist Cup, they'd hit Alibert at 2, as well as bring Kagari back at 2. So me and other Sky Striker players could be pretty happy about that. I will say that some people are kind of wondering why hasn't Branded Fusion been hit, given the fact that the moment you open up with Branded Fusion and your opponent doesn't have an Ash Blossom just to negate it, it kind of feels like it's over. There's really like it's extremely difficult just to counter it, given the fact your opponent has managed to get himself or herself a Mirror Jade, and then whenever you summon and play a monster, it's gonna be like some dead on arrival because they can banish it. Also, they have their graveyard set up too. So I was hoping that Branded Fusion was gonna get hit to like 2 or 1, but who knows? Maybe in the future, because at least when the first Duelist Cup happened, they did. What is he? They did have like a big list, and then like Hulk wasn't banned, and then a few weeks later, or a week later, they decided to do an emergency ban list after the first one, and they actually hit Hulk. So I'm getting like some deja vu that they might actually hit and do another ban list or hit list, so they can limit or just hit either maybe Branded Fusion or maybe in Block Dragon too, because the Duelist Cup that I played recently, it was pretty much Despia, Runix, and Emancipators that are dominating. And some Eldritch, Philandery, Sword Soul, and Labyrinth too. But those were like essentially the top 3. I'm surprised he didn't go. Wait, I don't think he had the requirements to go for it. For Mirror Jade, no? At least I opened up with an Ash and Imperm. So he's just gonna, set his Branded in red? That's the thing. This game would have been this over if I didn't open up with an Ash or an Imperm. There are some debates whether or not if they should hit any of the hand traps, any of the Maxis, the Ash Blossoms, or Call Buys. Because then when it comes to competitive ladder play, it's just going to be the same 8 cards. You can argue 9 cards if you add in a crossout, or maybe 9 to 14 if you add in 1 to 3 imperms. I mean, because when people add crossout, because you already know your opponent's going to guarantee to have the same 8 cards. So it's not that surprising. I don't think they should hit call by because you need something to counter with the hand traps. I'd be shocked if they do. I mean, if they do, it leaves room for other hand traps. Maybe like more Veilers, DD Crows, or even like Gammas. And the thing about I know sometimes it is frustrating. Like if you get called by it, they have it's double. They can potentially open up with. And I say that because Called by the Grave, it's not a once per turn. Which can be relatively frustrating. Okay, and to see he's going to do anything. I mean, I hope that my opponent is dumb and just uses the counter on my balloon. Not knowing that if it's sent to the graveyard, I can get my effect. If maybe he thinks that, okay, maybe if I use a counter on it, and his effect won't go off. I remember learning that the hard way with skill drain. I thought like all of monster effects are like negated, but that's not true. It has to be monster effects on the field. So if it activates in the graveyard, that's another story, or even in the hand too. That's what I learned about. There are ways around playing around like floodgates. Okay, let me see. He's gonna let me get an opening. I want to see if he's dumb enough to just use the Predaplant to negate. Just let it happen. And that's the thing, when it comes to casual, I thought it was going to be relatively, like... I'm obviously not super casual. Like, let's say going back to, like, 2005, like the water or fire structure deck. But I was at least hoping something along the lines of maybe semi-viable, like Buster Blader, Silent Swordsman, or Silent Magician decks. Or even this deck. I would consider this, like, Ojama ABC Dragon Cannon deck to be relatively, well, like, kind of like semi-casual. I don't know if it's like to you guys, if it's just an automatic red flag that having Ash Blossoms or Maxis or any hand traps, that's just a sign that that's not like a truly casual deck. That's unfortunate. Is he? I'm gonna Ash that. And he has his Tax Dragon. And I call it that because, for Masquerade, is that every time I want to use my effect, I have to pay up 600, you know, goody life points. I just don't want more adding. It's just so dumb. Okay, let's go for main phase 2. Hey, get your hat mad. What's up? You refuse to play against that deck? Oh, you don't like playing against Despia? I'll say this though, I would rather play against a Despia than a Flow or Eldritch anytime. I kind of hate those decks, but at least with Despia, I mean, maybe I'm just like a sucker for like just like fusion decks, and the fusion like dragons look so cool too. And I don't know if you heard recently that they had new support for like Despia or Branded. They have this white, I believe, this white dragon fusion monster, which requires, I believe it's like a Fallen of Alvaz and like one light spellcaster. And I heard the effect is, it's pretty like unique. So the secondary effect is like if it's in the graveyard, you have to tribute 4 monsters, including, or optional, you can use it from the extra monster zone. But its first ability is, okay, you can special summon a light spellcaster to your opponent's side. So people thought that, okay, I can just give my opponent a Jowgen, and Jowgen the Spiritual's ability is that neither player can special summon monsters. So it's pretty much a lock. So I have a feeling that when that card comes out, like Jowgen might just straight up get banned, because if you know, like with Konami in the metagame, they hate it if you have like this like busted or broken ways to just lock out your opponent and just go for an auto win. But we'll see. I don't know how much support does like branded Despia need at this point. I think they have a sufficient amount. Because I know that, for, at least for Master Duel, before Mirror Jade and what branded Fusion came out, they were using the, what was it? The Fluffle engine? Which was fine, because they relied on solely just, what, Masquerade Dragon, or I say Tax Dragon. But now that with branded Fusion, as well as Ice Dragon came out, really, I mean, like Mirror Jade, there's no need for that anymore. And it looks like it's over. This is just pretty much a 46k to the face. So I don't know, like what's the, like after the ban list, what's gonna be so dominating for the new season. Because I know that what with Alibur at 2, it doesn't really change much. They could just have like a free replacement. Just put like another like Ecclesia, I guess. And we'll see with Kagari at 2. I want to see like more Sky Striker plays because I like Sky Strikers. It's one of the main decks I used along with Marincess and Sword Soul. And I'm pretty happy like after the Duelist Cup they didn't hit Sword Soul. I know that they hit Lanyan at 2, which really didn't make too much of a difference. I was afraid they were going to hit either like an Emergence or a Mo Yi, which really wouldn't matter too much because with if Mo Yi's like hits like 1 or 2, I could just replace it with like another Ecclesia or Ataya. Or just more hand traps. Because 90% of the time, I open up with my Mo Yi or like Lanyans just to get started. So it's not a big deal. I mean, next turn, if I could just top deck it Ojama Simulation, I can go for some, just like a ham comeback play. It's like a burger right here with these Ojama cards. The green is pretty much my lettuce, the yellow is pretty much my cheese, and the black is pretty much like my patty. So, and together they can make one awesome, you know, comeback burger. So it's good now. So he can just go for a Mirror Jade. I think he could just BM at this point, given the fact that I don't have anything in my hand. I don't have like, let's say, a Battle Fader or Gores. Those were like I would say the second wave of hand traps. Or maybe second or third wave, because I remembered like Kariba was the OG hand trap. And then they had Veiler and DD Crows. And then they had, later on, they had like the Ghost Spell, like Ash Blossom and Ghost Ogres. How far the metagame of Konami has gone, that back at its peak, there was just pretty much like no one using, barely using any traps or running them their deck because they're relatively slow. And just like one card starter combos and just everything else is just hand traps. That's game. Okay, 0. Yeah, let's go Chats again. What do you say? Hey, Farsax, am I enjoying Despia? I would say I enjoy a lot more compared to what Eldritch and Flounder is. I'll say that for sure. Or even, I would say even Runic too. Runic's been super annoying. What do you mean? Like you're surprised I just went through without like quitting? Yeah, well, that's whatever. Maybe my opponent will have like the disconnection. I can get that on a win. I'm just playing casual for now, just to unwind a bit. If it gets too much, then I'll decide to stop hopping back onto ranked and just actually farm up gemmies. But for now, I just want to play the Ojama, like the Chaz Ojama XYZ Armed Dragon deck. Oh, what? Okay. Is Emancipator? Ha! That's an unlucky reasoning. Yeah, there's no rewards in casting surrender whenever I want. True. I agree. I will say that, how was your New Year's, Farsex? And also, did you enjoy the Duelist Cup? I mean, with Rage Thing, the only decks I've seen playing it is just some massive, was this Emancipator or even Runics to dump their spells. I was hoping that, like, perhaps they could have just, like, hit Reasoning, because it's not even a once per turn. Like, jeez. Okay, let's go with this. Let's go with X-Head Cannon. And attack. So here I can just set, and I'll pass. You said it was alright, you didn't play much DC. I mean, I already beat the first, I played it the first time, and I already made it past stage 1, like clawing my way through against, with Laundries and Eldritch. But pretty much this time, it was Emancipator, Despia, and Runics. And maybe some Labyrinths, Sword Souls, Flow, and Eldritch, but those are like the top 3. Those are, I would say, not as fun to play against. You see this? You think they should have blocked, banned Block Dragon? No, I will say this though. Here's my take. I think 1 is fine, because think about it. You could just DD Crow it, or call by it, or just remove it. I mean, what? How are they gonna get it out? The heck? Was he went? No way. So, target 1 face-up card and pop it. Waken the dragon. I walked right into his trap. I mean, I don't blame like people running these cards, right? Because most of the time your opponent's gonna find some ways to pop the back row. And I will say this, but I assume that you already saw the ban list. I was kind of like, what the heck? Why did they make Alibur semi-limited, but not hit Brand Fusion? That doesn't make any sense. Let's go for Oja match. Anything? Well, this is game. I'm surrendering. I mean, I could consider running cards like that. If it gets popped, I can just go off, like, trigger its effect. But I am relatively stingy in my UR. I'd rather savor something that's actually worth. And I'm happy that Kagari's back at 2. Because I play Sky Striker, and at once Kagari is back at 2 in about the next week or so, I'm going to just, like, play Sky Striker ranked. Because for the most part, I've been just using, Marinsys and Sword Soul in ranked. And I don't think, like, Sky Striker in this meta, because they have, like, with Runics, it's super annoying. And even Despia, too. I think for Sky Striker, Despia is, like, one of the hardest matchups. You said against Runic you could summon Exterio with Waking. Oh, that is interesting. That is a good idea. That's such a troll card too. I mean, hey, well, maybe I can bring back the old-fashioned combo, right? You know, I can get out Horse level 8, and then boom, my opponent can't activate any spells. Or even a spell counselor, why not? So I'm playing against Dynamorphia. Anti-spell fragrance, really? I mean, what decks are you looking forward to, or we're looking forward to coming to Master Duel as well as making right now? Because I'm trying to make a Predaplant slash Despia deck. Because I know with the recent support with Predaplant, it seems more viable now. Because I tried making a Predaplant deck, and I just put it to the side. I haven't really touched it. It has to play Anti-Spell Fragrance. Oh, never mind. I can just react to it. Pop. And let's pop the middle card. Get out. Does it have Starlight Road? That'd be such a great troll. You see? You're waiting on Rika Princess and Sprite. I heard, like, at least with OCG meta, I don't know if you're paying attention to that, but Sprites are doing pretty well. I hope that did the trick. Just get rid of a trap trick. Okay, now let's go for Prosperity. I'm gonna get rid of my Xyz monsters because it's just pretty much fodder for my Phantom Knights. Oh, they hit half of tier cards finally. Oh, wait, that's the thing. In the OCG meta, I've seen tier limits still doing well as Tri-Brigade and Labyrinth. It's crazy. I have a feeling it's just gonna be like another E-Dragon or Plant Synchro. So they tried hitting like Plant Synchros as well as E-Dragons, and then finally they just decided to kill the attack entirely. Like, way too consistent. I would say what I'm looking forward to coming out is just tier limits and the Dark World support. Like, I believe like the third wave of support for Dark Worlds. Because there's like the new Graphic Fusion I'm looking forward to getting. Or hoping to play. Okay, you can get his fusion card out. And then I also have an Imperm too. I just have to be worried about his two face downs. Two, three, bad. I mean, I just have to get a Thunder Dragon level 3. Let's just return these back. Now I can just use my Thunder level 3. See? Okay, I'm chaining Imperm. You're not getting your effect. You're saying that once they release here in MD, you're just gonna quit. That's funny. I will say this though. Yeah, just imagine tier limits. What full power, and in addition to that, yeah, max C's. So it would be a nice little toxic meta. And let's get level 3. I don't know if has a response to that. Now let's use 3's effect. Just pitch. You say the tier mirror match will time out almost all the duels. Jeez, I remember seeing. I forgot which YCS was it. It was in LA, right? I'm pretty sure it was a YCS. It was the 80% tier limits, and then what 20% other decks. So that's what defines a tier 0 format, right? Like you can't win without playing like the same deck. Which is yeah, how fun, right? Good job, Konami. I remember. I forgot. I think it was my friend. He told me about like tier limits. I didn't know what those were, and he just told me it's Lightsworn but better because you can fuse and summon. Tier 0 is when the deck gets like over 60% of representation. I forgot it was 60 or 80. So unless it says that it has to be at least 60. Because I know with tier limits, they just did 80%. Which was, oh boy. And from what I heard, like the finals of the event that had 80% of tier limits in that tournament, it sounded really pretty fun. Because at least like when it comes to like top tier decks or just dominating, at least tier limits, I could see it being relatively fun, right? Because it's just RNG. I don't know if you played like the card game Egyptian Wars, in which you would just keep like milling your decks and then slap it. There's like a little suspense when it comes to games like those. A little RNG factor never hurt anyone. Tier, it's basically power creep to the next level. Yeah, it's interactive. That's the thing. I would say when it comes to like very high tier characters, I guess it depends. Like for example, I don't know if you follow competitive Smash Bros. At least with Ultimate or Fox. I will say that I do watch like the competitive scene for Smash, and let's say for Melee, right? Arguably the number one character in the game is Fox. Fox is really hard. It's pretty hard to use. There's like a skill, a certain level skill to play it effectively. It's you can combo it, so it's pretty much it's fun to play against, and it's enjoyable to watch. Same thing with like in Smash Ultimate. Like I would say there was like what Joker that was dominating. It was mostly because of MKLeo because he's really good. No other Joker just does it like he does, and people didn't really mind him. I mean, obviously people mind him just winning like all these tournaments, but at least like from a spectator perspective, it's like it's pretty cool, you know. Oh, so you do watch it, yeah. Jigglypuff #1, HBox Supreme. I remembered like the era of what was it? Oh, Melee. The meme of Melee is dead because HBox kept winning because it was so unenjoyable to watch HBox like win with Puff. Because yeah, props to him. I respect him as like a player, but it's just so lame just to watch him just like play Puff. You know, I want like the cool, fast like Falco Fox matchups like Spaceys like how Melee is, right? It's just more in like fast, like back and forth, like do some cool combos. Not just, oh, up throw, rest, and just rest. And then there's like a point where HBox kept camping the ledge so much they were considering like maybe do like an edge guard limit or just like you're just bad Puff. It's just like so unhealthy for the game. Even if like for a time like yeah they were kind of debating whether or not to ban wobbling, because wobbling is just a broken mechanic. It's just an auto win. There's no real skill involved, and I can kind of see it from the like a up and coming player, right? Because with Melee and Ultimate, with those games, or Smash in general, you're usually at a net negative. It's similar to like Yu-Gi-Oh, because you're already spending what hundreds of thousands of dollars on like flight tickets and renting out hotels for like a weekend, and just imagine you like start your day one or your pool, you're just getting like freaking wobbled. Is that the best way to like get more people into the game, knowing that okay, I just lose to freaking just straight up just toxic cheese? You say that yeah, MKLeo's cool. I'd also with MKLeo too. He reminds me like Armada, like for Ultimate, because he's just super dominant and he's really just relatively humble when he wins too. I'll say that. And I really like his Marth and Joker. That's why he's like undisputedly like the #1 player in the world, because the amount of consistency and dominance he provides. And he always ends up with like, for the most part, he usually in grands. There's like it's rare for him to be like not in grands, but I feel like the gap is slowly closing with players like Tweak and Spargo. You see this? You said you liked it when he used Byleth well, not use Byleth 2, not many other people use it. Yeah, that's the thing though. I think it was just like MKLeo. He's just generally I don't know if it's just like sword characters, just characters he plays in general is just really good. He's just like great, fundamentals, and he just knows the like picks the right options. And then like you said with like you need to get the grab for for wobbling. Yeah, just don't get grabbed. Just don't get hit. That's it, right? Just don't get touched. You have to play like melee like 100% perfect. You get hit, you're not a good player. Yeah, sword characters too. I generally like them when it comes to like Marth, Ike, Lucina, Joker. I think Sephiroth and Cloud too. I remember at a time like Cloud was like top tier, but I don't know how Cloud is nowadays. If he's like still like high mid tier or what is he in the tier list for Ultimate? Because I kind of stopped paying attention to like the meta when it comes to Ultimate a while back. I mean I got Ultimate when it came out. I spent like 10-12 hours playing through the entire what was it adventure and unlocking all the characters. And I just placed like Smash on my friend's place. Like casually with like items. Yeah, there's so many sword characters. I know I have like a friend of mine, he generally does not like sword characters. I don't know if it's just because it's just like a carbon like this carbon copy or just like the range of the sword. Cloud still seems to be high tier. Still, I thought they nerfed his limit breaks. Then it doesn't like take a longer to charge as well as like the knockback is not that great. I will say that if you manage to just get the right combo into like finishing touch, it's so satisfying, and that's GG. I heard Sephiroth is, I don't know how Sephiroth is on the list. I've heard like mixed things like he is like whatever. He's not like high tier. I guess I don't know who like the best Sephiroth player would be. And like speaking of Cloud, I don't know if you played the Final Fantasy VII remake because I've already I played the excuse me the PlayStation 1 version, and I like the story and the soundtrack for Final Fantasy VII. It's like I'm pretty sure people consider like the like most iconic Final Fantasy game. That's why it's getting a remake and not other like Final Fantasy games. And I can't wait for the sequel to come out. I believe it's coming out. I forgot if they were getting like more. If it's coming out this year, or we're just gonna get like a more like trailers. You didn't because they released a remake on PS5 first, so you kind of skipped. What do you mean? They had the remake on PS4. Like the for Final Fantasy, 7 remake. I remember because I have a PS5 and PS4. I mean, and I played it on PS4. But now, like I would say for PS5 for the remake part 2, it's kind of implied that it's a way better experience if you have a PS5. That's why I switched. I switched from getting a PS. Was it? It's from getting from PS4 to PS5 for that the gamer experience. Because in the newer games, it's like you pretty much it's low key implied that you just need it for the most optimal experience. You said when it came out on PC, you didn't care too much. And I will say for the PS5 that I remembered a friend of mine. He said, "Hey, I can like get you a PS5 if you want." And I was like pretty dismissive. Like I didn't, whatever. I don't care. And then I suddenly heard that it's selling out. It's super fast, and I jumped immediately on that hype train. And then I was kind of too late. And then for a while, I couldn't get a PS5 because they were just pretty much sold out. I don't know how are the sales right now still going nowadays. I'm pretty sure it's easier because I got my PS5 like maybe 4, 5, 6 months ago. And the only games that I pretty much have like played for the PS5 were like Soul Hackers 2, and the only games I'm looking forward to are Kingdom Hearts 4, Final Fantasy 16 and the remake part 2 for Final Fantasy 7. Okay, let's go prosperity. Anything. 2, 4, 5. I think I'll add to my hand Oja Simulation. Or better, I can get level 3 Armed Dragon. I think I'll get myself a level 3. And just return everything back. You know what? I will... See? What do you mean, Wind Monster? Okay, I can use Piled Armed Dragon. I can pitch. Now my opponent has a response to that. This. He said... Of course, Maxi. So I guess I'm not going to summon him more. And then let's use Dragon's Effect. Let's dump a 3. Let me draw. Never mind, I can't draw because of Poppy. You said that Kingdom Hearts 3 was just a product replacement. The last game till the very end. And here's the thing about Kingdom Hearts 2 that people had a problem with, or like the criticisms. Because Kingdom Hearts 3, I assume you played it, so you wouldn't mind if I just say whatever, or quote-unquote spoilers, in case anyone's listening to. Because Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't have any Square Enix / Final Fantasy characters. And for Kingdom Hearts 3, going from 2 to 3 was weird. It was like, what the heck? Because you had to play like the previous games in between, like Kingdom Hearts 2.8. Because when you go from 2 to 3, you don't know who the heck are these other characters and what's going on. So it's not like a direct sequel. I know this is like unfortunate. It's twist time. Let's pop. That better not be like a compulse. We're gonna get rid of. You say China Memories and the cell phone game that didn't last. Okay, I would say that if you're wondering how I got into the Kingdom Hearts franchise, it was because of Chain of Memories. Because I'm pretty sure you know that my channel is just like card games, primarily with a focus on Master Duel. But I do play, like Slay the Spire, Shadowverse, and Hearthstone. And I love the idea of like Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. It was pretty much, okay, it's like a action game with cards. So, and when I first played it, it was unique to me. Because I didn't know that, wait, hold on. I was going to say it was a combination of Disney characters and Final Fantasy Square Enix characters. Like the best of both worlds. Which it made it so like fantastic. And used the card game action system made it unique too. Let's get level 5. Let's attack directly. Yeah, and the thing about Chain of Memories too, I was gonna say that I remember like my brothers, they played like the final boss like 10 or 12 like 20 times just to hear the music for like from Utada Hikaru. Like when you walk away, you don't feel me say. Just listening to like Simple and Clean is the, it's like such the most iconic, you know, song of all of like, you know, for Kingdom Hearts. I don't know if like you prefer Simple and Clean or Sanctuary. Sanctuary is good, but maybe I'm biased because Simple and Clean was like the very first one that this it just never gets old listening to it. And Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, I enjoyed playing as like not just Sora but Riku too. And then later I played like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. And I will say after playing 3, it was kind of mid. I feel like I would just play 2 again just for the heck of it. Because I forgot so much. And the thing with, yeah, with the Kingdom Hearts, like, after 3, I thought it was just done. Like, no more, right? But apparently they're making a Kingdom Hearts 4, so you know what? This is their way of saying that, like, last chance. And I saw the preview and the gameplay for it. It looked phenomenal. So you know what? I'm going to give it another chance. Maybe I should just play Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories for 3D, because I never played it. I never played the 3D version. Because I played on GBA. So that could be an interesting experience. I don't know if I want to play the other like Kingdom Hearts games. Like I think it was like 358 like by like slash 2 days or whatever. Like the DS games I never played. You say the 3D games are pretty good too? I guess I just never got into them. Like the only 3DS games I played was like Zelda and Shin Megami Tensei 4 and 4 Apocalypse. I'm gonna ash that. Dream Drop Distance one, and like not just the 3D8 games. Did you play any PSP games? Because I remember growing up, I really wanted a PSP, but I guess my parents didn't allow me to have it. Me and my family were more Nintendo oriented. So we would get we had we borrowed like a GameCube from our cousin with like games like 1,000 Year Door, which is like the top 5 or top 10 games of all time for me. And not just that, but like I said, with Paper Mario, there's like Double Dash, Sunshine. There's like so many. I would say like right now in terms of consoles, so far the Switch seems to be the peak. But if you say like, okay, aside from the Switch, what do you think was the peak of like Nintendo? I would say GameCube, because they had so many banger titles. And then when the Wii came out, no, that's the thing. When you go from like playing Melee and then switching over to Brawl, everything was pretty much like lost in translation. Like what made Melee, you know, like it felt so fast and like the hit stun and just the comboing. And it seemed like Melee was, well, Brawl was more oriented towards like casual, more for defensive players. And tripping was so annoying too. I guess tripping was implemented to make it so like to be competitive, because it was so dumb. In which, okay, I'm gonna implement this dumb mechanic. So like whenever you run RNG, boom, you're done. And you said you never played Apocalypse. You did play the SMT4. I will say this though, because I don't know if you played the SM3, 3, 4, and 5. For me, I played 3, and then I played 4, and then 4 Apocalypse, and then 5. And I will say that I like 3, the OST in 3, and I will say that 3 was extremely difficult. Just imagine if I was 10 and I tried playing that game, I didn't know what the heck I was going, and the random encounters and everything was just straight up unforgivably hard. Like, no way. And then SMT4 came out. And in the beginning, no, it's hard. You have to, like, the infamous Minotaur. And it took me about 3 times to beat him. And in the beginning of the game, you had to do a lot of grinding, which I didn't really mind too much. And then after that, it gets kind of somewhat easier. And 4, it was just pretty much a better version of, like, no, I mean, 4 Apocalypse was the better version of 4. Given that I guess they got feedback from, like, players, say that, okay, what can we improve in this aspect? So, you know, for 4, they didn't give you, like a location marker, because I didn't know where the heck I was going. So that was a problem. And I guess in the beginning, they made it so that you don't have to do, like, super grinding. And they actually had somewhat like an all-out attack system, like similar to what was it? Persona 5. You played that. So overall, like 4 seems to be my favorite SMT game. For 5, it was like when people say Shin Megami Tensei 5, more like Shin Midgami, Because the game, it was pretty much like Nocturne 2.0 because it took place more like in a like the desert, and all he did was roam around, and the characters, like there were nothing special. As well as that, I mean, I liked the gameplay. It was visually pleasing, but another thing too was SMT5 was on the Nintendo Switch, like which made so that there were performance issues. And it didn't like help that I did the whole I can spawn these like Mitamas that can give you like a lot of like XP or ability points. So that didn't help because it be like I couldn't resist the temptation just to have a way to insta grind instead of just doing it the traditional way. And he said that like you didn't need to grind all that much at the start of 4. You just need your full party to have a weakness of Minotaur and for Smirk spam. Yeah, I remember there was criticism with Smirk. People felt like Smirk was dumb. And I know in the SMT4 Apocalypse, right? So instead of having like compared to 4, right? 4 had like their light and dark moves that just did instant kill, but for 4, it just did some light damage. But if you managed to get Smirk, it just had a high chance of just doing insta kill. I will say this though: the soundtrack in 4, absolute banger. Like all the soundtrack, like the battle themes are just phenomenal. And then like with 4 Apocalypse, there was only like maybe 1 or 2 soundtracks I really liked. I think I can play that right now. Yeah, let me see. I can play that right now. SMT4 battle themes. Let me play that. Win the topic. Bam, 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 bam. Just like that. I'll let you know. They're all pretty good, but there are a few ones that are by far like my favorite. I will say the not just battle theme, but the Ikebukuro theme was pretty good too. But in Apocalypse, there's the let me find it. It was like it went like, oh, let me play it. Let me find like the 2 themes that aren't battle that I'll play, and then I'll go back to the battle theme after this. Just give me a moment. And let me see Apocalypse too. Let me find it. Okay, let me see. What do you say here? You still liked 5, but 4 felt more interesting story. Yeah, it did. 5 was more interesting story wise. I mean, who's your favorite team member? Did you like? It was Isabeau. I think maybe people say Isabeau best girl, but I will say that I liked was it the main girl in SMT4 Apocalypse? It was Isagi. But Isabel was great too. Jonathan was good. Walter too. I just felt like I did a lot more grinding for 4 and like for Apocalypse. Because here's the thing. Oh, let me play it. Here, this is what I'm talking about. Bam, bam. Now this is a banger. I had such a I had kind of chills listening to this, right? Because it felt so well with the environment, right? You're like going to this like bar and you're finding all the you're meeting all these like demons and going underground. Bum bum. And then you say you liked all the routes because they were quite different. But with 5, it was just basically here's a different one and end boss. Yeah, the ending of 5 was just like Okay, whatever. Again, I would give like SMT5 like somewhere between 6 and out or 7 out of 10. How about that? Because the gameplay I liked a lot, but the story wise, it was so bland. So, but hopefully, I'm probably gonna play SMT5 Apocalypse or their enhanced version when it comes out like in a few years. So hopefully by then they take feedback and improve a lot of things. I will say they should get rid of like the DLC in which that okay you can't just spawn these mitamas that allow you to get like these with the essences and just insta grind. No, you have to like do the traditional grind, okay, like everyone else. Or at least make it available until after you beat the game first time. Because that's why when I played Persona 5, they had the same thing with the Reaper. You could just do an insta grind, and then it kind of defeats the joy of the game. You're just so already super overpowered. And in Persona 5 Royal, they did that. They nerfed it. So that was good. Isabel was great, but you didn't really see much of her in SMT4 unless you did the neutral route. Oh, that is true. And then Jonathan felt less interesting, but I feel like it's one of those characters. It was pretty easy to go OP. I think it was an SMT4. SMT5. Yeah. I will say that for like SMT5, for Apocalypse, which I really like to improve, they had what was it? More party members, because with SMT4 all you had was your samurai crew, and all they did was just okay, some minor damage and some heal here and there. But in SMT4 Apocalypse, they made them actually useful. You get buffs and heals and like legit like damage to the enemies. And even like the final boss for SMT4 of Apocalypse, what I really liked was okay, you get to switch off between your team and the samurai team, or like Flint's team. And I will say that I died so many times in SMT4 Apocalypse Normal against the final boss that I had to go switch to the easy mode to beat it. And then later on, I felt like, you know what? I can do this. I can probably grind and just rethink my strategy. And then I can beat the final boss in a normal mode, which I did. What's it? You didn't struggle that much against Shiva. I don't think I've ever played Shiva. I pretty much just used, like, what I can remember just using Thor. That was, like, one of my best characters on my team. And I will say this. I will promise myself that if SMT5 does come out, like, in the enhanced version they have, I'm going to do it the legit way and just, you know, not use like the instant grind method. And I mean, hopefully, like SMT5 can come out on PS5. That'd be great. You know, for more it's better performance. Like, I don't understand why can't they just do like release it on multiple platforms? It's like a win. And also, here's the thing too. For SMT5, not gonna lie, there weren't that many soundtracks that I really liked overall compared to like let's say 4. 4 had like a multitude of soundtracks, which is kind of a little disappointing. I would say for 5 there was the Strength soundtrack that let me see how I can play. There's just only one soundtrack I really liked from SMT5. After the Ikibo Crow theme is over. Okay, let's set. And I'll pass. Okay, here it is. I don't know if you remember this when you're fighting against the wolf. Bam, bam, bam. I really like this theme. I think it's by far my favorite theme in the battle theme in SMT5. I don't know what's your thoughts on this theme, Farts. Oh man, I'm getting a little chilly. I'm gonna like, you know, close the window. Whew. No, I just said that. Like, what's your thoughts on this theme, the SMT5 battle theme? While I was going up to the the window in my room and closing it because I was getting a little chilly. And speaking of which, since I'm planning on going on vacation this week, I don't want to risk like getting a cold, so I'm just gonna wear like a little maybe sweater jacket, or just try to stay warm in my own room. Have I played Etrian Odyssey? No, I haven't. Well, the only thing I never played it, but I did listen to the OST. That game has a lot of good bangers too. I think majority of the SMT games have a lot of good music I really like. Not just SMT, but just Atlas or just Persona. Because I would say, in terms of Persona games, Persona 5 Royal is the peak for me. And I will say that, like, if you played Persona, because how I got introduced to it, which is, it's really fun. It's great because I know that my brother, he brought before I got introduced to Persona, I liked RPG games or JRPG games, whatever you want to take it. I played like the Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, Bowser Inside Story, those games, and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, and regular Paper Mario. And I played Final Fantasy like 3, 4, and others on like consoles and DS. But when I first heard of Persona, I was like, okay, what is it? And I'll give it a try. And here's the thing too. With Persona, it was like a combination of an JRPG, and it's like a visual novel or like dating sim. Like, wow, they managed to like incorporate like a dating simulation that's pretty much relevant and useful to the story. So I was like, okay, cool, it caught my interest. And not just that, but there's also the battle theme too for let me see, for Persona 3. Let me find it. Let me play it. This song was made me just fall in love with the series. And the thing about with mass destruction, right? Here's the thing what I found really interesting. I don't know how it is with you or just generally speaking, right? Would it be safe to assume that when most people like listen to like anime music who are not like Japanese, they just listen to it because not necessarily that they understand the lyrics, but they just like the way it sounds. So I guess it works like the inverse with Japan, right? So if there's like English lyrics to like a song, they don't really understand it, but they enjoy like the beat and the sound of it. Destruction. Baby. Oh yeah, and they watched like their own sub cartoons too. Yeah, I mean when it came to this like the whole subbing and dubbing debate, I remembered like, hey, here's the thing with me when it came to like my introduction to anime, because I grew up with like Toonami, Adult Swim, and 4Kids. So that's how I got introduced to just with Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Dragon Ball Z. And I would say that Pokemon, when I was watching it when I was a kid, I didn't know that was considered anime. Same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh too, and Dragon Ball. I mean, they were different from your average cartoons, but I never understood the concept of it. And then, like, when I first watched, like, when I first watched Naruto, I finally got to understand when Naruto came out on, like, Cartoon Network, and it was an apparently I didn't know like later on like my brother wanted me to watch it like, hey, let's watch it like Naruto, like the newer episodes. Like, what do you mean? Because I thought I had to wait like weekly for it. Oh no, it's like they have like the sub is out already. And okay, so we watched it. So apparently the sub version of Naruto is like out later than dub version. So I watched Naruto in the Japanese in the sub. So that was my introduction to it. Like, wow. And the Japanese version was like pretty. I liked it a lot too, because I watched the English version. Maybe I'm biased because that's what I grew up with. Because I kind of like, even like comparing it and looking back at it, I still like the Japanese. I mean the English version too. Because like Naruto, like the voice acting for it was, I liked it. I thought it was like for the most part fitting. I like Sasuke, Kakashi's voice, and then I know people can argue about Naruto, but believe it was great. You still remember the was it the 100 episode of filler between Rick? Oh man, I could see how a lot of people would be relatively turned off by that. I wouldn't blame them. I wouldn't blame them like Forest X. And here's the thing with Naruto. Like the original Naruto was about like 100 and what 30 episodes. And then after like, okay, I'm pretty sure like no one cares about spoilers because what was it? Naruto Naruto failed to rescue Sasuke, and then it was supposed to end right there and move on to Shippuden, but apparently they needed what 2 years worth of filler for the manga to actually keep writing. And the thing is that I thought like after like there was like filler episodes that made it sound so convincing that it was relevant to the plot. There's certain episodes in which like, okay, we have like found this person or thing that can give us a lead to find Sasuke. And then I was like naive. It was just like it was like good times. You see here. Let me see here. Let me go for my Phoenix and I'll continue. Baby, baby. And let's pop. Let's banish this. I just gotta react to it. No. Okay, Phoenix. Let's see here. Let's get Unicorn. I'm not done yet. With Unicorn, I can still shuffle. So we can just take this out. And now I can go into my talker. Which will allow me to pop both the Gizar, like the Gyoza. I would say it's like Gizaris, but I just call it Gyoza because I'm hungry. Bow, 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 bow. Dude, I'm just feeling it with this music. I'm just popping off. Okay, yeah, so so Pharasex. Yeah, sorry about that. I was just so in the zone. I wanted to focus. And I was like I say, yeah, with the filler, it was so insufferable. I think like after the first 2 episodes of like after the like 2 years of filler, we had like Naruto Shippuden came, right? And then let me see. Naruto Shippuden opening 1. We had, I think this is like the best song for like Naruto Shippuden to have for its comeback, right? If you remember the song. You couldn't think of a better opening to start with, you know, for its comeback. And then I will say that with Naruto Shippuden, right? I mean, even though that came back, right? There are some filler arcs that I generally did not like. It was like the Sora one, and then they had like the Three Tails one. Those are not good filler. I mean, generally when it's shown with filler, for the most part, it's not good. Like I would say with Dragon Ball Z, the only fillers they had was just some No, the only arc they had was just the Girl Junior arc. I did not like that one. I would say for Yu-Gi-Oh, they had the Virtual World arc, which I liked, but it was I just kind of hated how it was like it interrupted the Battle City Finals. And the Seal of Orichalcos is by far my favorite filler arc, or my favorite arc in general. Take note, guys. That's how you do filler well. And with Bleach, they did not do Bleach well with filler too. They had to implement the like a filler arc right in between the current storyline. Because for Bleach, I believe it was after the was Ichigo like defeated Grimmjow. They had and this met up with Orihime. They had to implement this like the new Captain arc, and it was like, what the heck is this? What is this? It wasn't even good. I would say you can argue that the Zanpakuto arc was a good filler arc, which it is. It was pretty interesting too. And not just that, I don't know with One Piece. I feel like the entire show is just one big filler. Okay, that was like okay, there's that. You are my friend. And he said that, let's see, they added some like new characters in the fillers and they were present in some of the warm-ups. So you knew they wouldn't be relevant at all. Yeah, that's true. I remember in Bleach, they had the, it was the bout arc. And I hated it too. It was so long. I think it was like 40 episodes. And that's like one of the first few episodes like I saw on like Adult Swim that I was introduced to in Bleach. And then he said, and then I never seen Solemn ever again. And then it was this, yeah, One Piece. You never watched it. It was like one episode per chapter. And that's the thing though. One Piece is like Shonen Jump's just like cash cow. I would say that like because with like certain like manga artists or just certain series or maybe voice actors, if they, I'd say, pass away in the middle of a show in a series, oh oof, that's not good. And let's imagine if like let's say for the Japanese or English version, right, of like Dragon Ball, let's say if Sean Schemmel or the Japanese voice actor of Goku, like the old lady, just passed away. Holy moly, they would have to. It would be a nightmare because those are like voice actors or characters. They're just so irreplaceable. You can't they are pretty much the character. And luckily that's not the case because even the Japanese voice actress for Goku, she is like, I believe like 84, 85. That is impressive. Like the amount of like vocal work and screaming she has to do. I have like so much respect because I just generally think that this like being 80 years old, like it's put so much strain in your throat. And I can imagine if I was 80, I would not be able to like scream like that. And I guess maybe it's because I'm from America, and I guess like in Japan, the life expectancy is a lot better over there. Because there are theories because maybe it's due to the fact that they exercise, they walk out a lot, and their diet too. Because I guess in America, all that we eat is just like fast food, and we generally don't eat like healthy. And I was just say that for like with One Piece, I remember being okay. How I got introduced to it was because of the 4Kids dub of it, and I know what people are gonna say, right? It was awful, which is true. Like how they did the localization, because I remember talking to Eric Stewart, who's who's the narrator of the One Piece opening, as well as the voice actor of Kaiba. I even went to one of the conventions and asked him, because I was in line getting an autograph for him, that, okay, what's your thoughts on the One Piece dub of it? And he told 4Kids, oh, it was a bad idea to do it, because I think that when they decided to acquire the licensing of it, They thought they were just going to be like, okay, it's just like a typical pirate show, you know? So you're just going to have some corny like pirate jokes, puns, and lines like, "Yarg matey," and okay, like, let's slide for that treasure in Davy Jones' locker. They didn't expect One Piece to be this, like, violent. They actually had to change the guns into, like, water squirters. And I guess they had to change, was it, like, devil fruit to cursed fruit? Because, you know, the devil had, like, some, like, was it, like, association with religion? And I would say that most of the voice actors were not as, like, I'd say they weren't as great. I would say with, maybe, well, maybe, I think Luffy was fine. Like, Solo, or, I think with Luffy, and then Zola's, or Zoro, no, Zoro was the Japanese version name. They changed it to Zolo in the English version. So that's my take. And Sanji sounded like, was it Barney, what, Barney the dinosaur with like lung cancer. And that's how I got introduced to One Piece. And I felt like they put all their budget into the opening thing, right? Like Dream, and then the entire dub of itself. Which means like, hey, you know what? Kaiba ain't cheap. Because you have to pay a lot of money to like have Kaiba be the freaking narrator. And yeah, it's Umi control. Like, ugh, what do you expect? So you're saying that the manga's fine, the anime isn't. JoJo has more chapters, and they're adapting it so much faster. LOL. Oh, and here's the thing with JoJo too. Have you caught up? How much have you caught up with? Have you watched all 6 parts? Because part 6 of JoJo just recently finished. Like Netflix just like dumped the last batch of it. And I don't know what your thoughts are when it comes to Netflix. I kind of hate the fact that Netflix, they acquired JoJo, like Stone Ocean, and they just dump the batch, and then people just binge it, and it kills like all the community like weekly discussions. And people kind of forget that, oh wow, JoJo just came out, right, for part 6, because it kind of just got swamped, like, you know, drowned out with the other shows that came out like this season, like Chainsaw Man and Bleach. Which is really surprising, given the fact that Disney acquired the rights of like Bleach, and people thought it was just going to be like the Netflix 2.0, that it's going to be like held in Disney jail, and there's not going to be any discussion. But I was wrong, because the community like came together, and there's a lot of discussion every week when every episode came out. You said you read part six, but honestly didn't really like part 6. Oh yeah, that's the thing though. I've heard it was on purpose. I was talking to like a friend about it. He said he told me that Araki did that on purpose. Like, is there like a bad, like, you know, or just like weird JoJo ending? And he said that part 6 had like very, like, it was kind of controversial. There's very mixed feelings about it. And I know with like JoJo, for me, I didn't get into it until like I think it was like after part 5 was done, and then I said, you know what, maybe I'll just go hop to it to give it a go, and I really like it. It was like it's not really I heard it's technically not a shonen per se. It's more like I think it's called seiren. I think it's more for like it's more for adults. But even like how like the JoJo worked, right? It felt like a battle shonen, you know, having like Hamon and then stands. And I know that people have to get past part 1. Here's the thing: part 1 is really slow, but it's really integral to the series. So if people just could just like hold their nose and get past part 1, it gets better after that. Yeah, as you say, you tried reading part 1, but it was kind of meh back then, but you really liked it from part 2 on. Yeah, part 2 onwards is great. You see, it was pretty like funny how the buff they were in. Oh no, that's the thing. Even in JoJo part 2, in JoJo in general, right? or maybe it's just like broadly speaking with anime. I don't know if it's the thing in Japan in which they just make the characters look like older or younger than they appear to be. Because in like part 3 of JoJo, they made, was it Jotaro? This really buff kid, right? Kid. And he's 17. He's in high school, but he looks like a freaking like a college student or even like a young like adult. And even like shows like I would say my first anime that I was introduced to that I remember I was young was Sailor Moon. Like was it like Serena or Usagi or whoever you want to call it? I thought she was in high school. Apparently she's in middle school. Like jeez. That's like a very mature looking like middle schooler. And yeah, I guess like the maybe that was like the comical part of it. That okay, this made the characters like super like this really buff. I mean, I don't know what their diet is in the show, but what is it? Is maybe it's just like genes, diet. Who knows what their secret is in like JoJo. Excuse me. And here's the aside from this like JoJo, you said that let's see. You wish they changed the VA for adult Goku. Which one? You're talking about both? You're talking about the Japanese, or are you talking about the English, or both? Because I will say this though, I don't think they should change like either of them, especially like the English voice of Goku, like Sean Schemmel. He's like the voice for Goku. I don't think of anyone like who's like, can he's like unchangeable. If that's a word. Yeah, here's the thing though. His iconic lines like, and this is to go even further beyond. And here's the thing, yeah, same with Dan Green as the Pharaoh. I will say this for Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually, was it, liked, because for both the English and Japanese voices of Kaiba and Yugi, because I didn't know that Dan Green, he played both Yugi and Yami, which is incredible. Because when I was growing up, I thought they were like played by like different voice actors. Because the cool thing is that Dan Green's Yami voice is his regular voice, and his Yugi voice is his high pitched voice. Because normally when it comes to like cartoons, like the younger boy with the male characters, they like the boys, they're better played with like female voice actors, because it just works. And also with like was Kaiba as was it no Eric Stewart as Kaiba, it was phenomenal. They made him like such a lovable jerk. And I will say that for the Japanese voice of Kaiba, like Kenjiro Suda, he is great too. Like they're both like phenomenal in their own right. Like Kenjiro Suda, his Japanese like voice for Kaiba, it sounds super invigorating if you listen to it to hear. But if I had to choose between both of them, I would slightly have to give it to Eric Stewart for the English version, because it's what I grew up with, like nostalgia, as well as that his one-liners are just bangers, right? His insults are just hilarious, especially if you watch The Dark Side of Dimension. And I will say that it's like you would be honored if like Kaiba just like straight up insulted you. And the thing with for the Japanese Yugi, or like Yami too, right? I liked it too, but I would say by far like Dan Green's just like hot, like huffiness, like as the Pharaoh. It sounds more majestic, if you know what I mean. So I would say I would like Dan Green's role more than the Japanese voice actor for Yugi and slash Yami. And the thing with the Kaiba, yeah, in their YouTube compilations, it was just like, okay, it's the Kaiba show. He's just he just not he can't just lay off the bants. And see here, Dan Green also played Knuckles. I know that. He also played. I didn't know he played Entei from the Pokemon movie. And then when I listened to it, like, okay, yeah, that's definitely him. I don't know if you remember the show Kappa Mikey. He played like so many like background like characters for that show. Yeah, and the Dark Side Dimensions, again, it was great. It was just a nice nostalgia trip. Not only did like they introduced like cards that they were like made Blue Eyes and Dark Magician more viable, tournament wise for a time. They just made like again with the visuals, the cast coming all back together. Kaiba looks freaking jacked in the movie. And it was kind of funny when I think about it, right? So Kaiba is like 6 feet tall in the show, and Yugi is like what, 5'4" at best. And Kaiba, he's by far like the best like rival, all right, in anime. I'll say that. And he's willing to go through the lengths just he's pretty much like, I don't know, people say like anime Elon Musk. He has like he owns like a billion-dollar like or multi-million-dollar company, and he just does like crazy stuff with it. So he decides to like just rent out like parts of like Tokyo, Japan, just to host this gigantic tournament for Battle City and just like block all traffic. Also, he could just prove he's the best and beat his rival at a card game. That's determination. And the lengths he had to like make it like a time machine, like, or I think it's the time machine or just going to the afterlife just for a rematch against the Pharaoh. And the thing is that I felt like the ending was. I think it's a great ending, right? It's up to the interpretation what's going to happen. It's sad that we're not going to get like another original Yu-Gi-Oh movie or sequel. I would say that if they could do a reboot of Season 0 for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because the thing with Season 0, it was originally like Yugi, not focused on the card game per se. It was just, you know, the king of games. Like you play all these different games, and then the loser gets sent to is like punished. Or they could just do an actual like a reboot of the original manga, because apparently the original Yu-Gi-Oh series we watched, it's not exactly from what the manga is. And the thing was that, yeah, it is a real shame that the author died. Yeah, Rip Kazuki Takahashi. I will say that I was really disheartened when he passed away. Because that man, his work has done so much for my life. I would not know where I would be without like Yu-Gi-Oh today. Because I met my closest friends through Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I played like with them like in school, like during lunch breaks, and it helped me like, you know, it made school fun, much more fun. I did not like to do math, and I was struggling out there too. Yu-Gi-Oh helped me with that, as well as just reading and just like, and then doing Yu-Gi-Oh lawyering and just arguing with like with friends and just and I was a judge too, so it actually helped me just help my argumentative skills, and as well as like have fun learning like new ways to strategize, like keeping up with the meta too. Like it wasn't just like a hobby to me, it was like a big massive integral part of my life. I don't think I'm alone in that aspect. Yeah, I was a judge. I was a judge like about like 10 years ago, just for like volunteering for fun, for experience. And I will say I would rather be a judge than just like work at a like, let's say, retail like or fast food joint, because it's something like I personally enjoy. And what I was paid in, I got like $30 and this like at least like 30 booster packs and some playmats. Because I think in Konami, obviously, they don't want to pay you in, you know, like with money because of for like tournaments. They want to keep it relatively, you know, kid friendly, I guess. But you know, Kazuki Takahashi, his legacy will still live on. Millions of people will be like remember him for like his work. And that's the thing with like with Yu-Gi-Oh too. It got me into not just the card game. It got me into. It's one of the shows that got me into anime, and I think as like a byproduct of that, it got like, people into like Egyptian culture too. Because I couldn't tell you that when I was in school. I remember like in history class they were talking about you know, for like Egyptian history, like there's Ra and Obelisk, and I was like, I paid attention because what Ra Obelisk or Osiris or like Slifer, those are names I know from like the show and the card game. So that was funny. Imagine like you unironically getting into like Egyptian culture just because of Yu-Gi-Oh. Like like Ashizu and like the gravekeepers and the tomb keepers of the pharaoh. And I will say that like in the original for the English dub for Yu-Gi-Oh, there are a lot of the soundtracks they had because they created were they were bangers too. Like let me play one. This is one of the best, one of my favorite ones. It was the Kaiba hacking theme. Every time that like this theme was gonna play when Kaiba was dueling, you knew stuff was just gonna throw it like stuff was gonna go down. Bam, bam, bam. It's time to finish you off. So first, I will add myself an Ojama Red and an Armed Dragon level 3. But that's not all. Now that I can just normal summon my Armed Dragon Thunder level 3 and activate my Oja magic, which allows me to add 3 of my Ojamas to my hand. So now I can just do this. Activate my Thunder Dragon level 3's ability. Send my Ojama Green to the graveyard, which will allow me to special summon my Thunder Dragon level 5. But I'm not done yet, because I can use my Thunder level 5 to pitch my blue, which will allow me to get out my Pile Armed Dragon. It's like that. Haha, what did you think of my role playing? Because that's the thing with Kaiba. He took it so dang seriously with the children's card game. I remember there's like memes of like, you're just a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck. Like, Jesus. Kaiba, calm down, man. Let's see here. And I can just play red and activate red's ability. So I can normal summon all 3 of my Ojamas. And now, let's go for this. Let's go for a unicorn. I think we can go for an OTK, like an OTK. They got him. Yeah, Kaiba, time to threaten to kill yourself to win a children. Oh, I still remember when I was a kid watching that, right? Because how did Kaiba almost lost with having a Crush Card virus and a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon? He should be ashamed of himself. But then again, Yugi had to had like a wall Kriebos, and he had to use like what, Mammoth Graveyard, the Living Arrow, and Polymerization. That was awesome. And in the English dub of it, it was like Kaiba was like, Yugi, you wouldn't want to attack me. The force of the shockwaves can make me lose my balance. And I think that was the best way they could have played it off, because obviously you wouldn't say that. They're not gonna say like, "Hey Yugi, I'm literally gonna kill myself if you don't let me win and rescue my brother." That was dark. You see here, and was it? I actually kind of teared up when I saw that moment, right? Because Yugi had a difficult choice, because he had to like he wanted to save his grandpa, but he didn't want to do it, knowing that he was gonna like potentially end Kaiba's life. I don't know how many people would have they done in that situation. Like it's one of those like difficult choices you made in your life that will impact you for the. It's sad. Yeah, Atem didn't have a problem with that. He was like, do it. Like, you think I won't, Kaiba? I don't care. But at least like Yugi's a good kid, so he made the right decision. And Taya like stood up and like she showed Kaiba too. She pretty much told off Kaiba like you're such a heartless like jerk, And he said like they don't think Chaz had Thunder Arm Dragons though. No, you're right. He didn't have Thunder Arm Dragons. He had Arm Dragon level 3, level 5, and level 7, and then later level 10. Because when he used like it against Jaden, that was like in that what was it, the North Academy versus Duel Academy, like duel. And I would say that Jaden has dueled Chaz like 7 times throughout the entire series. I don't know any other like rival has dueled Jaden like more than like 3 times. Because I know that Aster and Zane, they dueled Jaden 3 times. You say that you think it's ballsy to play a 4K attack monster when Magic Cylinder exists. I mean, no, that's true. Are you referring in like IRL or in the show? Because I know that in the Magic Cylinder at least back in the day, right? In IRL, it was like super good. Because no one really expected it. And this not only in the game, but wha-bam! Do burn damage. Oh, yeah, in the show, I remember that when Magic Cylinder was introduced, against like, Yugi against Strings, he had Slifer, so he had to find so many ways to get rid of Slifer. So I activate Magic Cylinder. Now I'm going to absorb your Slifer's attack and send it right back at you. Say goodbye. And then the stupid Revival Jam. Oh my. I thought that was the most broken card. Like, what can he do? Not only you have to deal with like an unbeatable Egyptian God card, or near unbeatable, but you have to deal with the freaking Revival Jam it just comes back. It was just absolute madness. You say Chaz's deck is about as bad as Kaiba's? No, I disagree with you. Because with Kaiba's deck is actually more structured. Because it's more of a dragon beatdown. Chaz's deck is like similar to like Yugi's deck, okay? In the sense that Yugi's deck had... Okay, he had like the Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, and Valkyria in his deck. He had... What is it? Queen's Knight, King's Knight, and Jack's Knight. He had Gazelle and Baphomet. It was just so disorganized. Jeez. But and it's like with Chaz, you have the Arm Dragon cards, you have the Ojamas, and you have the XYZ like machine monsters. But was it Dicey solid JJ's video? No, I haven't. What's it about? And also, like you said before, was it having 3 Blue Eyes bricks in the fusion? Well, here's the thing though. I would rather have like 3 Blue Eyes in my hand. Okay? And then at least I could like possibly top deck like Lord of D with Flute of Summoning Dragons, or just a hard polymerization to go into like an ultimate. It's basically a parody of Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, I might check it out later. Thanks for letting me know. And it also was it. The amount of cheating in Yu-Gi-Oh! Was just like insane. But I think that's what made it like so much entertaining. Because of how dumb it was. Like for instance, I remember it was I'm gonna launch my the Catapult Dragon, the Dragon Champion, in the sky. And I was like, what? As well as Giant Soldier Stone attack the moon. I don't know if you remember the most like BS I remember from the show was Time Wizard. It was Yugi versus Joey at Duelist Kingdom for the semifinals. And like Joey was about to win. He used Time Wizard on Yugi's Dark Magician, and he made him old. And they thought, okay, he was gonna win, but unfortunately, like Joey's Time Wizard made the Dark Magician stronger, and it became like the Dark Sage. And it was like, I'm just dead. Obviously, we can't let Joey go against Pegasus. Given the fact that Yugi's the main character, and we can't have that because it's plot armor. I made it so that no one can send YouTube links. Sorry, Farase. Like, the rule applies to everyone. I just have it like that. I'm pretty sure if you just type out the exact title of it, I'll find it. So there was that. Other things too where that was cheating was, I remember Bandit Keith. He cheated against like Joey and Yugi. Joey, because he had this little he had the little card. He just pulled out of his sleeve like whenever he wanted to. Same against Yugi too, with like when he was trying to rescue like the Pharaoh and get back his Millennium Puzzle. No, it didn't work. I'm pretty sure it's just censored. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Farce. It is what it is. But it's like, speaking of like Yu-Gi-Oh parodies, like, did you watch like Yu-Gi-Oh Bridge? Because we were talking about parodies, that was like the most like the OG parody that I could think of. And I remember during like the old school was it YouTube? There was like Yu-Gi-Oh Bridge and Dragon Ball Bridge, and I first wanted Yu-Gi-Oh Bridge, and it was pretty hilarious up until, I guess, I felt like in terms of the comedy, I felt like it peaked at Battle City. It peaked right before, what was it, the Virtual World arc, I mean. And I didn't know that like Little Karibo, he voiced like I don't know if he voiced mostly everyone or just he voiced the entire cast, like Yugi, Tristan, Taya, Joey, Kaiba. Jeez, his voice range is phenomenal. I don't know if me or anyone else could just voice like 7 to 8 different characters at once. And after was Yu-Gi-Oh Bridge. No, I think that with Yu-Gi-Oh Bridge, that's what the memes came, right? Like the screw the rules, I have money, as well as what are some other lines? I'm thinking I'm drawing a blank. I just know that was the most like iconic I can think of. Like screw the rule, I have money. I think it was the Bakura with Merrick and Bakura against like his dark with Yami Bakura Yami Merrick. It was like, Bakura, you have to use the Celtic Guardian because I am the Pharaoh. That was just so, I was laughing because it's so dumb. You see, you have to go. You'll see me. Oh, for sure. Thanks for stopping by, for Faris. Like I really appreciate it. Let's link away. These Buster Drive from my graveyard. What the heck is that? You banish card, then target one zombie monster you control, and that zombie monster is unaffected. Okay. That's not gonna do much because I'm popping the face the quick effect. Or at least the continuous spell. Let's add for my deck to the hand a... Look at that Assault Core. And Oja Magic kicks in. Thank you, Phoenix. Nice little wombo combo. You don't have an Ash, and even if you have a call by, that's not gonna work. Let's get add those. Yep, 1, 2, and 3. Let's battle. Let's see what he targeted. Well, let me check what he used. I think I missed something. Maybe it's 2. Let me see. Summon. Nah, I pass. At least I have an assault core. Let me change the music up a bit. Or let's go back to the Pops collection. I think that's better. Hey, what did he say? Hey, Korea, what's up? You're on in the background. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? You're on in the back. I don't know what you mean. How have you been? Oh, I'm lurking. Oh, You're lurking? Okay, for sure. How have you been, man? It's been a while. How was your New Year's? You enjoy yourself? If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just playing some Master Duel, and this will be like my last stream before I go on vacation. So I'm just like, just vibing and chilling. Oh, that's what you meant by you're on the background. Oh, for sure, I know what you mean. Yeah, I was a little confused what he meant by that. Yeah. Are you planning on streaming later? I can try to like check it out later. Oh, it's your birthday. Nice. Okay. You're streaming right now. Okay. So I think maybe after I'm done streaming, I could just like probably go to you. And it's, just like I want to like say hi and then check out your viewers and your community, see what's up. No, for sure. Thanks. I hope you enjoy your birthday and your stream. Honestly, it's pretty nice. I don't know how long has it been since you streamed, because I imagine that if you haven't streamed in a long time, having a birthday, like a New Year's and birthday stream at the same time must be massive. I can imagine. I assume like your followers must be happy, assuming that if you keep in touch with them like on like YouTube, community, Twitter, or even Discord. Oh, thank you, TK, what was it? Snake. Thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it. So yeah, thanks. I appreciate the follow. Hope you enjoy my stream with Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know, like, what deck do you run? Do you play Master Duel? Tell me more about yourself. Because I'm just playing like an Ojama Chaz Princeton deck because I want to Chaz it up. And I guess I'm just playing Eldritch. This is what I get when I play in casual mode. I'm not like playing like, oh, maybe a Red Eyes, Silent Swordsman, or a level deck, or like a fun, not try-hardy deck that I see in ranked, because I guess they're using these decks just as their playground, so they can just throw out whatever without risk of leveling down. And that's the thing too. And speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, the anniversary is coming up soon. In a couple of weeks, it's going to be the 1-year anniversary that Master Duel came out. So I'm hoping that for the 1-year anniversary, they don't give just like more gems, which I don't mind, honestly. But they can also implement like a new game mode. Because so far, they've done like a pretty decent job. And what I mean by that is that they've been really receptive to like the community and competitive players, like, feedback. And then I do appreciate like once like couple of weeks they upload new content, like constant ban list hits, and just give more selection packs, accessories like sleeves and mates and dual fields, which I really appreciate. So then keep it up. I feel like if they don't, like the initial player base will just keep bleeding. Because when the Master Duel came out, like on, was it Steam? It peaked about 200,000 players. And then later on, it slowly bled it. And then last time I checked, it was about maybe between 20,000, 30,000 people, which is still big. But I feel like with Master Duel, if they implemented like a casual mode, like let's say like a GOAT format or retro or Edison format, I feel like they would have retained a lot more people. You see? You play Master Duel, you're currently playing Runic, don't like the deck, but just using it until you have enough crafting materials to make dangers. Oh, for sure. I will say that Runic, I refuse to play it. Because I feel like I wouldn't have fun playing it. It's just straight up cheese. Same with Eldritch, I refuse to play that. And Despia, I'm trying to see if I want to make a Despia / Predaplant deck. Because I had like a Predaplant deck in the making, but I kind of gave up on it. But not until the latest selection pack came out, which had Runics as well as the Predaplant support. The new ones, I mean. So I'm going to find a way to try and make a Despia branded / Predaplant deck. I think that at the moment I'm trying to practice playing, what is it? Tri-Brigade. And speaking of which, like, I don't know if you guys pay attention to the OCG list, that its tier limits, Labyrinth and Tri-Brigade are dominating the meta, which is surprising considering the fact that they had a big hit list for tier limits, supposedly, and it's still dominating too. So I guess that I feel like it's deja vu if anyone's played like TCG or Paper Yu-Gi-Oh! Like it's like Plant Synchros or even like E-Dragons all over again. You said that you could like get like 2K Gemmies and then you could play maybe like a tag duel would be sick. And that's the thing though. I would say that from like a couple of months ago, or I meant months, they were planning, I was hoping that when they announced like the tag duels, it was going to be what we thought it would be. You know, very similar to like Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Force, if you played any of those games. But unfortunately, it was just this whole mode that had, okay, you enter like a lobby with other people, so it's like 3v3 or 5v5, which is, that's super lame. That's not what people were expecting, like tag duels. So, but it's not too late. Because I know that the tag duels, they can't implement it. As well as other modes, like I said before, with like the retro format, with GOAT / Edison, that'd be fun. They can implement a draft mode for Yu-Gi-Oh! Which is similar to like maybe Shadowverse, Take-Two, or Hearthstone Arena. Or like similar to like the Magic the Gathering, like in real life. And they can also do I would say they could do a Turbo Duel format. And what I mean by that is that if anyone's watched like Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, they can have like the Speed World field spell and have like the Speed World, like, you know, the speed spell cards, like Speed Spell, they Pot of Greed. Like you have to have 4 counters, speed counters, in order to use it and draw 2 cards like that, with a ban list, of course. And so they could do that. There's a lot more modes they can introduce, and even there is some debates whether or not people want like a best of 3 mode, because in Master Duel, for as of now, you can only do just, you know, just one game only. So you have like a best of 3, and you implement like, let's say like a side deck option, like you take 20 or 30 seconds to side deck whatever you want and then continue. But I guess Konami doesn't want to do that because it might take forever. Because even like a game of Master Duel, like it ranges from maybe, it could be like, it could end up within 5 minutes, or it can even like drag for like 15 or 20 minutes. So you said that you got like really lucky when you're opening packs with 3 copies of Fountain in your first 10. Wow, that's like talk of like luck of like your pulls. And I mean, speaking of like for Master Duel, how long have you been playing? Because I played it when it first came out, and I chose like the Blue Eyes Fusion like deck because they had the options of getting the Junk Synchro or like the Link Coder or Link Cyber deck and the Blue Eyes Fusion. I chose to get myself the Blue Eyes Fusion because I like Fusion because it's my favorite like summoning method of all time. And not just that, but it's also Blue Eyes. And I also have like an IRL Blue Eyes deck too. But before, it's like with Master Duel, I was just, ooh, I want to like open packs because at the time, Konami or slash Master Duel gave you like a generous amount of gemmies. But unfortunately, the deck was so expensive. 3 or like vanilla Blue Eyes White Dragons were ultra rares. And what the heck? And then they have not to mention you have like the alternative dragons were ultra rares, and like the melodies, and even the extra cards too. So I remember like burning so many like much UR, or just like trying to like find packs like the original Blue Eyes packs to have to implement in my deck. And then like again, if I went back in time, if I knew, I would just like focus on making a Sky Striker or Tri Brigade deck from the beginning, because those are fun decks that they still do relatively well in the meta, and they're pretty fun too. You see, back when the game first came out, so many new gems now, new players only get like 1K now, including the beginner solo mission. Yeah, and that's one of the most satisfying things too. Like, I don't know if you know this feeling, but it's always great that you were there from the beginning when like the game came out. Like for me, I was there for when Hearthstone came out, like 2014. Like at least before the first adventure and expansion came out from the get go. Obviously, I wasn't there from the beginning. If you're including, you know, the beta testing, which is back in like late 2013. But I only found out about Hearthstone. It was like after like late high school, for me. And then Shadowverse came a couple of years later, which is pretty much anime Hearthstone. But it's just like it was just a great feeling. And then with this Yu-Gi-Oh too. Here's the thing. I played for like the paper and like TCG Yu-Gi-Oh up until Pendulums came out, which is 2014 too, coincidentally. Because when Pendulums came out, I was like, okay, I'm out. I'm not playing with this. This looks so degenerate and busted. And I decided to just like, you know, jump onto Hearthstone. And then a few years later, my friend got me back into the game because apparently Blackwings were getting support at the time, and I had a Blackwing deck too. And then after that, there were Links came out, and I was just like, okay, maybe I'm back to another like hiatus. And then a few years later after, Master Duel came out this year. And I felt as though if Master Duel just... Oh. Yeah, oh hey, oh hi, Fu Woozy Hamster. How have you been? I was just going on my tirade or rant about like how I got into just Master Duel and just my feeling with TCG as a whole. Welcome to the chat. If you want to support me and anyone's watching, you can leave a follow. You can just follow me on like my Twitch, my Twitter, my Discord, and also my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate it. But I was going to continue saying that. Yeah, when Master Duel came out this year, I was happy because it's one of the games that got me into just like streaming. Because it was a game I was relatively confident in. You know, I have like my Yu-Gi-Oh anime knowledge as well as just like TCG knowledge. So I was really comfortable just like talking about it and going off about it. And I was going to say that just imagine if Master Duel came out a few years ago, right? Maybe like the year like in 2020 when the pandemic happened. It would have been a game changer. I felt like we would have had a lot more people playing the game, you know? But it is what it is, though. Because I would say that for me, like, no one would have really anticipated what they were going to do. But this, like, with Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself, with Master Duel, I liked how that, okay, it just got new players and old players playing it. And what I mean by that is that it was hilarious. And what I mean by that is you had, like, new players and old players, okay? You essentially had, like, kind of one side of old players. They were like, oh boy, I can't wait to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh, right? I was like, I can't wait to play, like, Dark Magicians and Blue Eyes. And they have, like, the maybe, like, the Yu-Gi-Oh boomer mindset in which, okay, maybe this is, like, they think this is 2005. They didn't know how much has changed ever since then. Maybe they were just put in, like, a cryogenic freezer, like, from Futurama. But it was, like, hilarious because they're saying that, wait, what the heck is a dark magical circle? What the heck's a Blue Eyes alternative dragon? What are these cards? What the heck is where hand traps? What's an Ash Balls? What's a Maxi? How is he summoning, like, all these monsters at once and searching for so many things? Which is great to see. And, like, for normal people, they just want to play a Celtic Guardian, set a card, and end their turn. Not deal with, like, 4 or 3 army negates. And just getting kaiju'd, you know? I was just going to say, just like that. And then later on, I feel like no wonder, like, the bleedings happened with, like, Konami. Because he had at peak, was it 200,000 people playing the game, and now it's like about like 10 per. It's what 20%. Like, I don't know, I forgot the percentage. It's like it's about 20,000 people now. I mean, they really, like, I wouldn't say like they really screwed the pooch on that one. If they did implement like a casual mode to begin with, which they did. It was like until very later they did. But I guess better late than never. But the good things with, like, Master Duel in general, they gave you people a generous amount of gemmies, and after that, they had the solo. Getting into the solo modes was fun because it actually got you into, if, like, at least for new players, knowing what to do, how to normal summon, flip summon, the basics, and then getting into the more advanced like stuff like the summoning methods. Yeah, your ritual summon, pendulum summon, Xyz summon, synchro summon, Xyz summon, fusion summon. And Link Summon, too. And with the solo modes, you have, like, you know, how to play the archetype, how to counter against it, getting familiarized, and knowing the lore of it, too, which was awesome. Let's drop a Maxi. And so, I don't know if you're still here, Fuwazi. What decks do you play? I'm curious. If you're still here. Because for me, what I casually use is just my Chess Princeton, Armed Dragon, XYC Dragon Cannon, Ojama deck. And for, like, ranked play, I use Numerons just to cheese my way up to ranked, and then later bust out like Sky Striker, Sword Soul, and even Marincess too. I like Sword Soul. No, I meant I would say particularly Marincess and Sky Striker because I like those, you know, the good old waifu decks. You know, you want to, like, invest in your waifu stock, if you know what I mean. Let's banish this. You see? You played as a kid with random cards you had, and then you played in, like, 2012 and 2013 with the nerf Dino. I still remember Dino Rabbit, okay? When that came out. It was so annoying. Because you get the your Dagia and your Evolzar Lagia. I felt that was... I wouldn't say that's... It's one of the peak decks, like, during Xyz era. Because you had Dino Rabbits. And also you had what was it called? You had E Dragons. I feel that was the peak of like tier 0-ness. And then you had windups too. It was absurd. And like speaking of like Rescue Rabbit, I don't know if you've seen like the Rescue Rabbit plushie that like Konami was giving out in like certain events, like I believe it was like New York Comic Con, and it looks so cute because I know that like with Konami they can do better than like selling binders and the card sleeves, but a Rescue Rabbit, it's like one of those iconic Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and it's so freaking adorable too. I really want one, but I'm definitely not gonna buy it for like $400 to $600 for it. Okay, I'm probably gonna wait maybe like who knows in a few years or maybe this year they can like mass produce them. And the thing is that with was he? Then you played like Nerf Spellbook on Dueling Network. I know like it's not like what is it? Dueling Network is a blast from the past. I remembered it was called nowadays it's called Dueling Book. But before, let's say Edo Pro as well as what was it? Master Duel as it is now. I remember you would manually have to just like, you have to communicate with your opponent and type out, and you would have to call a judge. So you would be like, manually just draw the card, and then you would have to call a judge if you and your opponent had a dispute like a ruling. And I still remember back in the day, it was pretty toxic too. You would just insult your opponent like, you're an idiot, okay? That's wrong, you're dumb. I feel it's a lot. I feel like nowadays it's more moderated. I haven't checked, but that's what I assume. Because the culture back then, it was from when I played, it was relatively toxic. And so, I still remember spell books. It was with like Judgment. What were they thinking when they made Spellbook with Spellbook of Judgment? It just reminded me of like for Hearthstone, like Yogg-Saron. Just like just keep plussing. And he said that Xyz Dinos had a ton of back row. Not just Xyz Dinos too. I still remember with like one of the most annoying stun decks during that era was it was like I think it was Tech Genius like stun. It was Skill Drain with Horned Phantom Beast. You had Tech Genius Werewolf and Tech Genius Rush Rhino with Skill Drain. It was so super annoying if you remember that. And I remember been dueling back in the Dueling Network too. I remember playing tried a Miracle Synchro Fusion deck, which is really fun. I wanted to try and make it in Dueling Network, or not Dueling. I mean Master Duel, but their cards are relatively pricey in terms of UR, and I don't want to use that. Maybe if I had a lot of them, but as of now, no. You said some people prefer the manual play, and yes, it's pretty nuts with Jaugen at the end of the turn. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of like Jaugen, did you hear about the new? Was it the new Despia / branded support? They have like a new like light dragon. It was like what, one Fallen of Albaz if I recall correctly, and plus one light spellcaster monster as a fusion material. So basically, you could just special summon a spellcaster or light spellcaster to your opponent's side, which would be a Jaugen, and lock them out. Like, what more can they want? Because Despia, with the new ban list they had just now, because after the Duelist Cup, you played it, they only hit Albert at 2. They didn't hit Brand Fusion at all. And Emancipator, Block Dragon at 1, it's debatable because you know what? People say that 1's all you need. And I will say that if you manage to just banish it, let's say with Called By or DD Crow or any other means, like, that's it. What else can you do? I think it's like the same logic to say that if they for Eldritch, if they manage to semi-hit Eldritch, or even make Eldritch at 1 Called By is say goodbye. You don't kill it. You don't keep up with TCG, but you did read about that. I mean, I don't really keep. I don't keep up super much with TCG. If I see like a card people are talking about, I'm curious in reading it. But I haven't really been playing TCG. I don't go to like locals like I used to. I feel like I want to get back. I will say that once like the new Sky Striker cards come out, or like I feel like I want to make the Sky Striker deck and just go play in it, because Sky Strikers is like one of my favorite decks. And I don't know if you heard, because recently, like last year, they decided to make a Sky Striker OCG manga, in which that it's not like a manga based off the card game itself, but it's based off the lore. So they're starting to do a manga series based off various archetypes, but first starting with Sky Striker. So that's why if you're curious about like what's with all like the new Sky Striker support with the monsters, they're based off like, you know, Ray's like family in the manga, like the lore itself. Yeah, and so far I was surprised. I thought they were gonna do like maybe like a one shot, like a one chapter, and for like what's like 30-40 pages, and then just move on. But I guess in like Sky Structure they're really popular, so they kind of did more, and it actually finished a full volume. So it's right now it's 9 chapters. If you want to check it out, like go like you want to Google and read, oh, Sky Striker OCG manga, and it's you see like the 9 chapters. I like it, and I hope that, and you know with the ban list, right? Like for Master Duel, Kagari's back at 2. So I have a feeling that this year is the year of the Sky Striker. And who knows? Maybe like if they make it like to another volume for the manga, they can even do like an anime adaptation. Can you imagine? Because I know that like that's a whole different ball game. That if they manage to sell the manga sells well enough to achieve that, I would be freaking impressed. But like you said, Hamster, that there are other like was it lores they can do. I think they can do like Albaz or Ecclesia. Or Dogmatic. They can also do like the dual terminal like lore too. You see, you play against it sometimes, but you're not sure when it does. Besides using a lot of spells and link summoning. Oh yeah, for Sky Striker. So the thing about Sky Strikers, it's what we call like a control / like tool box deck, in which it does a lot of searching for like spell cards that deal with certain situations. So you have like certain spell cards like Afterburners that which allow you to pop a card. Or like Widowmaker allows you to take control of your opponent's card. Or even Shark Cannon allows you to banish your opponent's card. And it's a lot of like control and resource management too. It's about like plussing off your like opponent and just like getting a lot of value on your side. And not just that, Sky Strikers, now they also have like another ability too for their spell cards. If you have like 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can also have like an additional effect too. And the thing about Sky Strikers is that it's a relatively cheap deck to make. The only ultra rares you would need is just Engage, which is like the Searcher, which allows you to add like a Sky Striker card from your deck to your hand. And if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can draw a card. And this is Kagari, which allows you to add a Sky Striker spell from your grave to your hand. Yeah, there's a lot of link summoning with Sky Striker, and it's mostly just the spells and just hand traps. Because with Ray, it's pretty much like a 1-card combo, and so a 1-person army. And Sky Strikers, like for people who are into Yu-Gi-Oh and want to get better, a friend of mine told me that Sky Strikers helps with your fundamentals. It helps you become a better player and to know what to do situationally. And it makes it even better if you know like the decks, like the matchups too. Like you know what deck you're playing against it and know what they're gonna do and anticipate against it. And the person I'm talking about, his name is Kevin Kawaii. You can check him out on YouTube. He's a friend of mine. His content is about like Sky Strikers. He plays Sky Strikers. He does videos about Sky Strikers for like TCG and Master Duel 2. If you want to learn from like about how to play Sky Striker, he's the guy like I recommend you like checking out. And the thing I know with Sky Strikers, like with many other decks that rely heavily on spells, they can get easily shut down by like anti-spell fragrance or even Imperial Order too. But the good thing is that Imperial Order is gone. Yes, I hate that card. As well as like many other floodgates. Because the thing is that with, I guess like the Konami or just the competitive community does not like is that cards that just not let your opponent play the game. The more you have that, they don't like cards that just like, okay, you play it, you flip it, like boop, your opponent can't play. Oh, hey, you're about to summon. I play Vanity's Emptiness, so you can't special summon for anything. Sorry, bye bye. Now just click the surrender button. Obviously, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, Runix is so popular that people play a lot of counters for it. So every deck just uses a lot of spells. I mean, the ways to counter Runix is that I see people just run Cosmic Cyclones just to banish it. As well as they put other like niche tech cards like Chaos Hunter, like you can't banish. Anti-Spell Fragrance. And hell, even like do you remember Spell Counselor? It's not that old school card. It's like like a Jinzo, but only for spells. It's like the most obscure like YOLO card you can run in your deck. It's 5 stars. It's 1800. I remember people unironically were like teched and ran that just for Sky like this. Well, not Sky Striker, but like Runix. And after the Duelist Cup, I was like saying that they're not gonna hit Runix. The pack just came out, and if you know Konami's business model, they want people to buy their like OP broken cards, spend in like real money to get gemmies to buy the packs, and then let people have fun going on a rampage with it. And then maybe, who knows, a month or two later they can start like hitting it. Because I thought, can we just hit like Runic Fountain? That card is just so, I don't know if it's like, is it poorly designed? Because the amount of value is insane. Oh, it's like a free +3, and this keeps the constant recycling and drawing. It's just a super annoying. And if I thought that pure Runics were bad, I got introduced to just, Runics are just splashable in every other deck. Like, you had Sky Striker Runics, you had Despia Runics. So it reminded me of, like, the DPE engine and Adventures, too. You just, like, play it in any deck. Excuse me? You saw a grass version of Cyberstein, kind of crazy. Wait, a grass version? Is it like a, what do you mean, like a misprint? Or what do you mean by that? And I will say, Hamster, hey, if you would like to, leave me a follow, I would appreciate it. I do enjoy, like, speaking to you, talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And other things, too. Because not just Yu-Gi-Oh! And anyone else who's listening, I play also Hearthstone, Shadowverse. I know I'm mostly card game oriented, primarily Yu-Gi-Oh! But I do try to like branch out and play other games. I played Pokemon Violet, I played Resident Evil 2, and I also played like RPGs like Soul Hackers 2. I streamed for about 5 months already, back in July, and I got 100 followers, which is like, I'm pretty happy reaching that milestone. And this New Year's, I want to try to like, go for more. Yeah, I mean, I was just going off on a rant. I could see, like, for people that being a streamer is just generally difficult. Because you just have to just sit in your seat. You just go off, talk a lot. And you have to make sure to take your breaks and, you know, drink a lot of water. Let's use Ojama Blue. So I can use my Oja Magic and Oja Match in my hand. You said that he used Grass's Greener to summon Cybershine to get Naturia. What heroes did I play in Hearthstone? I mean, okay, I'm more for like ranked. I was more more control based. So I liked playing Mage, Warrior, and Priest. And then for Arena, my favorite class of all time for Arena is Priest. But I play Priest, Warrior, and Mage, and then like Paladin. I will say that I didn't play Hearthstone in a couple of months, but I recently got back into it because I heard about like the new expansion just came out. And it's like, why not? Why not stream it and just check it out? But here's the thing. What really caught me off guard is that they introduced a new hero, which is the Death Knight. Because I know before they already done, they introduced like Demon Hunter as the new hero. But what really made me impressed was how fun the Death Knight class is. So you had like the runes, the rune spells, blood spells, and the holy spells. And it was interesting how like you had there's like a certain like mechanic in which there's a certain way you have to build the deck. And I like the cards too. And I like the mechanic of how the corpses, you have to every time your minion dies, you get like a counter, and then you use cards from that class. So and its effects depend on the amount of counters you have. So I lost. Yeah, whatever. And he said he used to play when it came out and he used only Paladins. Paladins, I always thought Paladins were just a combination of Warrior and just Priest. Because, you know, you have like the warrior aspect of it, as well as the healing aspect of Paladin combined together, right? You get your Holy Knight. So I would feel like Paladin is pretty well rounded, but I would say, in my opinion, were you more of a? I'd say, were you more Arena when it came out? Because I remember Arena, I just chose Mage, because the pull rate for Flame Strike was insane. Because back in the day, people were terrified of turn 7 Flame Strike. I still remember this having one deck that had 5 Flame Strikes. Oh, I'm just gonna play Flame Strike, get rid of your board. And then later on, they had to adjust it to have better balanced pull rates. No way you're gonna get a MC tech or a Flame Strike. You see, what you said that you played when it came out. You please Paladins only. It sounds a little more complex than others. I would say with Paladin, my favorite deck overall was Mech. It was between Mech Paladin and a Secret Paladin. I don't know if you remembered Mysterious Challenger. That was such a fun deck. I remembered I had to just okay, turn 5, play a coin, get out my Challenger, and it's a +5 right there. Get all my secrets on the board. And what I liked about the secrets was you activated my trap card. You activated my Noble Sacrifice, my Avenge. The thing about, and I would say with Warriors, I will say that I remember. Do you remember when Justicar came out? It was I believe it was the first expansion. They introduced the upgrade hero abilities. So the warrior hero power was just okay, instead of getting 2 armor, you would just get 4 armor, which is jeez. That's why with war, it's just a war of war of attrition. This is to burn out your opponent. So you would just keep armoring up while they just out of cards and just keep damaging themselves. It's same with Priest too, because he kept healing. I felt by far those were the best upgrade hero abilities. You said that Secret Paladin was, yeah, I would say Secret Paladin was really toxic. I don't blame you. You just like attack and you just activate like maybe 3 to 4 or 5 like secrets at one time. Mid range is fun and control Paladin decks too. I think for me, my style is just more control because I like it that I have like, you know, I can outvalue and outsort, you know, out resource my opponent, right? It shows like maybe it's just like a habit of mine, like in IRL. IRL, if I can like manage my like money and invest properly than my opponent. You know, it's all about the business, you know? How well I can like, you know, effectively use my resources, right? Like it's essentially card economy. You said you hate playing against Priest the most since they could just steal cop. Oh, no, Priest was one of my favorites back in the day. I remembered the Cabal Shadow Priest. Everyone kept using that card. And it was great. I remembered the combo was, I think it was Shrinkmeister, or Shrinkmaster, what it was called, the 2 mana. And then you could just subtract your opponent's attack points and then just steal it. It was like a nice little wombo combo. And check this hand out. I opened up with 3 Imperms. What the heck? Let's set it. Let's set all 3 Imperms. So I can just like negate whatever they have because it's in the same column. And I'll pass. And not just like Priest. The thing about the Priest was fun too. It's just the stealing and this the copying too. Like in Arena, whenever I played Thought Steal, I was like, or Mind Control, like, ooh, or not Mind Control. It was like Mind Vision. It's like, ooh, what am I gonna get? Is this something? I don't know if you feel this way, but there's something so satisfying about using your own opponent's cards against them. You know, give them a taste of their own medicine. And they said that you hate clean gets. Well, no, you said that. I said that. You said that they had the OTK combo. I forgot which of the OTK combo was it. If you can familiarize me or just jog my memory. All I remember for Priest, like the most powerful card for Priest, it wasn't like, okay, obviously one of them was Mind Control because it's just like a free snatch steal. I'd say the most like powerful card, in my opinion, for Priest, that I can remember, was Psychic Scream. Because I thought it was like, what was the big deal of Psychic Scream, right? You're just shuffling everything back to the deck. It's not like you're destroying. And I was incredibly naive because I thought about it, right? Because your opponent, they can't trigger their Death Rattle abilities, as well as that you can just like, you know, shuffle like, you know, dead minions to their opponent's deck and they draw like useless cards. So it was by far like powerful than like, let's say, a Twisting Nether, but by every metric. And it was 1 less cost too. And Wild Mode is, I remember when Wild Mode was introduced, I was like, no, I'm not playing this. It's too toxic. It's just so like, you know, volatile. I don't want to like play in this environment. I'm more into like, at least for Hearthstone, I'm more ranked. I would say like in Master Duel, the equivalent of what Wild would be, you know, casual. But the casual here, it's not what I expect, right? I thought it was gonna be like, okay, maybe we can see like a Red Eyes deck, maybe even a basic, you know, Blue Eyes deck, Buster Blader, Gaia deck, but nope, we just have to see people just busting out their Labyrinths, their Eldritches, essentially their ladder decks, which was like, I get that you want to just, you know, just test out your decks without a fear of leveling down, but come on. Because I'm playing like fun decks, like I see right here. Like, play the game. And as I can tell, okay, it seems like this is burn. It was fine. I mean, what's your guys' thoughts here? I remember Ring of Destruction when it first came out. It was such like, it was, it was pretty powerful even in the show when Kaiba used it, but even in IRL, there's a reason it was banned. Because I remember going through reading like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki like a list of why certain cards are banned and the reasoning behind it. Oh, you're gonna go away, hamster? Yeah, for sure. If you would like to like leave me a follow, if I like would appreciate it, and anyone else who's watching, I really enjoyed the chat. I hope you can like stop by like another time too. And I will say that this is gonna be like my last stream before I go to vacation. So I'm planning on going to like Asia with my family. And I will think I'm gonna come back around like the 16th or 17th. I'm just gonna let you guys know. And I'll probably leave like a message on my Discord too if you guys want to join that for more like to follow me. So there's that. But you have a good rest of your night, hamster. And I hope you had like a great New Year's. That's fine if he's gonna use like the red. Oh, like I was saying with the Ring of Destruction, the reason why Ring of Destruction was like banned because in tournaments you could just go for draws, which just got super annoying for like the TOs. Because I think in tournament plays, it's really lame just to go for draws. It's just like so much of a headache. Just like go for it, just like a basic like normal win. Yep, now I can just go into a Phoenix. And I can use Phoenix's ability. Let's pitch yellow. To always target the back row. Back row is the most frightening. It's basic Yu-Gi-Oh! Yep. I mean, that is fine because I could still go for a Phoenix. I meant like a unicorn. Which will allow me to use Unicorn's ability. I can just pitch, tank, shuffle. And I can just go for a direct attack. And that's the thing with the combo I use with like Ojamas. I just like, from using my Oja Magic and adding everything one bat, like my 3 Ojama trio, I could just summon red, and then just play red, and just spawn my trios that I just added from my Oja Magic. Go for a Phoenix to pop, and then go to a Unicorn to shuffle, and then go for Access Coder for the kill. Aw, that's cute. You think you're gonna get out your, what is it? Your Sacred Beast? Then I got the call by. He's not happy about that. Yeah, so I would say, Snake, if you're still here, I hope in a couple of weeks there could be an emergency ban list. Like, let's say, please, they can hit like branded fusion, or it's like what I call brain dead fusion, and just have like new game mode. I mean, okay, yeah, if I get like 5k gemmies, I don't mind. I'm not complaining. I'll take it, but it's the 1-year anniversary. They should do a lot more, a little better than that. Because they've been, because after like a year, it's the game still feels relatively new because of the constant updates, which is nice. Then I have 3 blues. I'm blue, ba da ba bum, ba da bum, ba da bum. You know what? Let's play that song. Because I'm feeling pretty blue right now. And my This is the little guy right here. Ojama Blue. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna summon Wyvern. Ceasefire. Whatever. Let's go for Phoenix. It's a free pop. Yep. And I'm gonna just pitch my... Was he Dragon? Hit the middle card. Middle's for good luck. Yes! I'm glad that I didn't hit the Secret Bell because he would have triggered it and it would have been a waste. Boom. And I can attack directly. It's just straight up burn. Ugh. I'm feeling Ojama Blue. He's just so blue. You're not gonna search. And he just quit. I love it. Dude, I'm feeling it. This is some like nice classic music. How are you guys doing? Are you guys feeling blue? I mean, I can play as like some, you know, blues music if you want. I'm just having a good time. Just chazzing it up. Just getting my opponents to scoop. Oh man. That's the thing with like Chaz Princeton. One of my favorite characters of all time from like Yu-Gi-Oh! Not just like GX, but just Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. He's like not just like the comic relief character. He's just someone you just want to do well, right? I want to say initially it was for pity. But later he has his character development. He kind of started off as this arrogant jerk. But he decided to become like friends and good friends and rivals with Jaden. Which I appreciate. That's what I kind of like about a show. It has like, you have character development. I feel like when it comes to all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX seemed like it was like the peak, in my opinion. I don't want to discard. I will say, imagine if I could just discard any card, not just a monster. I can start my Ojama Magic and just go, it's plus city. But I was gonna say, not Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, but 5Ds I'd like too. I'd say the first 3 series, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, were the peak for me. I think after that, they started to like make the design more like kiddie for like kids. So that's why they had like Zexal and then what? Arc 5 and then I think it got a little better with Brains. It was an improvement. Yep, you're not gonna get it out. I think after this, I'm gonna take a little bathroom break, and then after that, I'm going to resume playing. I'm gonna go like start ranked. I think I played enough. Was it casual? Okay, let's play some. Here, I hope you guys enjoy SMT while I just break time. And I'm back. Hopefully I didn't go too long. Okay, now that I'm here, let's get rid of the bath. Let's get rid of the card. And then let's play... Oh, event duel? We don't know. Which event duel is going to come? I'm really curious. But I don't have to worry about that. So let's just go standard. Let's go with Sword Soul. Let's play another song. How this? Let's go first. Hey. Hey. A sad brain. Get you. Yep, let's give Vishuda. I think it's the best chance I got. No Maxi. Ha! I like his icon. It's the DC 2022 and it has the Link Master. Someone's like, you know, showing off. Which I don't mind because I show off in my profile too. I also like I'm a fan of the anime and I got like I'm a Link Master too. I'll banish. Let's go do. Rabbit. Come on. Okay, can I go? I can't even go for anything. It'll set 2 cards. Ha. Try attack me if you dare. What's he gonna do? I'm mashing that. You're not dumping anything. I'll get a call by. What you gonna do? Okay, discard 2. Wait. That's a fairy? I thought it seems like more like a fiend than a fairy. What the heck? What's this? Tressa Hirachia? Okay. You can special summon 1 level 2 fairy. I see. You contribute up to 3 fairy monsters. Special this card. Da 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 da. Okay, I'm just gonna wait. Predaplat. Shoot. Ava. Okay, this isn't good. I think I have to. What's gonna happen? Okay, I think I have to pop it. Okay, never mind. I'll just wait. I can't react. I think that's gonna wait for him to just get his loot belly and just like go for it. Or just the Mirror Jade. Eee. I guess I set 2 cards. Shoot. It's a banish. It's a dump. Well, rip. I guess he has that. I think he played around. He knows I have like a black soul. Or, I mean like a sword soul. Blackout. Okay, let's draw. Okay, I can just use... Wait. Hold on. Let's use Duster. Maybe I can get some good bait off him. Response. Okay, what do you get fusion summoned? Okay, it's Chimera. Nice, a pop. What's this? Generator. Now it's gonna pop my face down. But it shouldn't matter because one card's all I need. I just have to go for a Summit. And then I can go for tie. Never mind. Well, any chance I had to win was just dashed. No, pass. Can't do much against that. You know what? I think I could switch to Marincess. Or, nah, let's use Tri-Brigade. How about that? I'm already like in Plat 5. Should be that hard. Let's put in the back. See what it's gonna do. Okay, I'm going first. Tri-Brigade's not really more of a going first to deck. It's more like a going second deck. Set. And I'll set these two, and I'll pass. Miss it on the thing it do. Two face down, is he? B Trooper. Okay, go on. Go on. Nope. Got a call by. But no. Okay, at least it's not like next turn would be a dead draw. That's right. Don't summon anything. Just stop right there. Hope you play poor, like the positioning wrong, so I can just imperm. Oh no. Okay, give me more draw power. Let's see here. You see here? You can change the positioning. You can special summon when your opponent activates card. You can attach one, then target that launch and negates effects. And when like your let's imperm this. And then we can go for Blade, which will allow me to get the monkey. And let's attack directly. And main phase 2. I can now go into a Checkanine, which will allow me to go into a Tiger. And now I can just go into a Trident. What? Let me see. I need to read this carefully. You can attach and target one face up card and pop it. Yep, this uses Trident's ability. I will detach my boar. Pop. You can't use the effect, it's negated. Sorry, imperm. And now we can go into Zeus. One card combo, you gotta love it. Love Zeus's animation. I'll pass. And I have 4 materials. And you can't lightning storm it. I mean, I bet you could just tribute it with this kaiju. See? Sent to the graveyard, so he could just link away. So Almagir. Nope. Just wait. Let's see. What? No way. Oh man, it could have been helped anyway. Okay, let's do this then. His response? He has no idea what I'm going to get out. Let's special summon you, and you. Now I can go link summon. Just love the effect. Let's get Omen. Link Shokan. And your Alamager is not going to help you because it's only just destroy, not banish. Boy, that was a nice counter. I hate it. Even though it was sent to the graveyard. You can just pop it. He had the perfect counter. It's normal summon. Let me see here. Can I bash anymore? Yep, I can use Nerval's ability. Spanish 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me see here. As long as there's any monsters. You see a Rugal. And Nasir. Over another war, so you can bash a card. No. Now let's get Alamager. Yep, use Nerval. I can dump. I can add to my hand a... I can get a Karas. Let's see if I discard another beast. Get Fractal. And I can use... And I already used this effect already, so it wouldn't really do much. Yeah, I think I can go for Access Code Talker. Wait. No, I can't. Well, No, I can. I can just go access code here. Let's get 1. No. Let's attack. And attack again. And let's go main phase 2. Let's drop a card here, and I'll pass. And I have my drop I can use to discard my driver and my lightning storm. So I should be fine. Oh, what? I can use special summon. Let's get a Nerval. So here we go. You know, I don't want to use Omen's ability. So what's he gonna do now? Evenly matched. Jeez. I'm gonna use my Alamajir. I'll target my Omen. So it's gonna even things out, as the card says. I have to get rid of this. I have to get rid of my Droplet. And I have to get rid of my Rugal. And that's lame. He had the perfect card out. I remember using like Marincess. I had like my Battle Ocean. I had like my 3 Marincess links equipped to my, was it Argonaut? And then, it wasn't Argonaut. It was a, I think it was, what was the other one? Oh, it was like the Bubble Brief. And then he's evenly matched. And it's, again, like the name implies, just even things out. And I was like, geez, I had the perfect counter. Just bash everything. I mean, okay, even if he just linked away, I can still just Ash and just prevent him for some, like, adding back his insect. What is he banishing? It's whatever. The Goki Poli. Let me see. Armored Horn. Okay, I have to do it, because he's just going to add his normal monster and just pop it. So I'll get out of here. Okay, that's 1 down. He gets, what's that? Okay, still normal sun. He can still go for like a Link 3. I'm not out of the woods yet. Because next turn I have like a Lightning Storm. What's this? Link Sun. You can discard 1 card, target 1 insect, equip it. You can. Okay, it's just like a recycle. So I just have to pray that my opponent just doesn't draw into anything that could get over my Omen. And look at this. Looks so awesome too. It's even like set as my background. I mean, if I could just top deck a Gamma, that would be pretty good. So I could just, you know, complete the combo. I don't want this as a dead hand. And the good thing I got myself Fractal. That way I can just use Fractal to just send my kit, and then send my Nerval, and then go Disco off. I still have a Lightning Storm. I should be. I don't think I'm super worried. What's this? With this Link Stone, this card has 3,000 attack or less. Your opponent cannot target this card. What? So it can't be targeted. It also can't be destroyed. This is activate Fractal. Let's dump Kit, which will allow me to dump my Nerval, which will allow me to add to my hand Karis. You see, you can bash anyone in your graveyard. Do I want to use Karis ability? Nah, I don't think I want to use Karis ability. I could just summon. Then activate Karis. What do I have? 4 cards. Let's banish 1. No, here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get another Omen. Yep, I can use Omen's effect. And quit. Over. What? I might as well just use Tri-Brigade. It's pretty fun. Obviously, when I move to the higher ranks, I'm going to switch over to Marincess. It's a ghost second deck for me. And I have 3 hand traps. Yeah, that's not happening. No searching for you. And I have a revolt. Hopefully my Zodiac goes through. So, okay, let's Xyz summon. And let's go into a Borbo. Response. Okay, he's gonna summon his Golden Lord. It's battle. Attack directly. And in main phase 2, I can go into a Chaki. Got a response to that. I still have my revolt, so I can just banish. It's not a big deal. Response. Okay. Now I can go into a tiger. You can let me have it? I mean, the fact that he didn't stop me before and just let me gather my materials, that says a lot. Still waiting. Anything. Response? Okay, last but not least, let's get into Trident. What you gonna do? Because now I can go into Zeus. Oh, now he solemns it. Ouch. Let's set, and I'll set, and I'll pass. So those are 4 materials, but doesn't... I think he's probably going to anticipate my revolt. Shoot. What a top deck. Now I can just set a golden land. The same song and dance. Okay, let's see what's gonna play. Oh, against Bash in a set. Dumb. You activate my trap card. Please, no more Psalms. I'll say it's like a Dark Bribe. I remember back then people used to run Dark Bribe, but I guess giving your opponent like a +1 is really bad. Just send. Add to his hand, and then special summon it. $3,500 beat stick. Oh, that's fine. Because now I can just do this. I just drew another blade. I could go for a 1-card combo. Oh, if he special summons it, what else does he have? You can also, was it? You can banish this card. Okay, that's whatever. Let's banish these 4. Oh, man, what's gonna get now? Let's go. Oh, does it have a counter? You can destroy 1 face-up card in the field. Okay, so what? I can still banish the Golden Lord. Effects resolves. Get out. I can use the effect. And I can add for the deck to my hand. Let's get Fractal. Which I can use Fractal. Let's dump Kit. Yes. Let's get Karos. Then I can use Karos' ability. I'll pitch. Shoot, I'm stuck. Oh, there's zombies. No. Oh, that really screwed me over. And he still has his Golden Lord. Another one. Yeah, I think I lost this. I'm gonna call it. Oh, thank you for everyone who's watching me. I think I'm going to head out now. It's nice chatting with everyone. I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Most likely, I will be back either the 16th or 17th, depending how I feel. If there's like delays, if I feel sick, or just like jet lag, if I get tired from my trip. But I'll keep you guys updated if you guys follow me on Discord. Make sure to do that. Follow me on Discord for more notifications. My YouTube, my Twitter, and my YouTube. Yeah, Discord, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch too. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.